Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Oh, hi. Oh, ho. Oh, hey, ho. Oh, hello. Oh, hey, oh, my nutty didn't connect. My nut's not connecting. What the fuck? I told you to connect. You bastard. I see you there. Start server. There, now it should be connected. Hello. Ignore that thing in the middle of the screen for a minute. It'll disappear in a moment. Make sure everything else is working. Chat's on. That's good. How is everyone doing today? Pay no attention to a red connecting thing in the middle of the screen. I don't know if you guys can actually see that or if that's just on my end. It should be connecting in a moment. There we go. Hello. Look how he finally has a nose. Yeah, my nuts are misbehaving. I have to punish them. But anyway, how is everyone doing today? Hello, welcome to the show. Welcome to my fucking living nightmare made manifest. Today, we have something special. I was perusing the YouTubes, yes. Perusing the YouTubes as usual during my work day. And I found some videos that make me want to talk about them. One of them was just found recently, and the other two I found earlier today. One asks the question, did the fans ruin the amazing digital circus? Crash Slam time, I'll punish your nuts. How dare you? Only I can punish my nuts. Only I know the perfect way to punish them. And then the other one is the most disturbing crimes in the amazing digital circus, which I'm very curious about. Apparently one's not with that attitude. It's the only attitude I need, Weevil. But yes, I'm very interested. I'm very interested in this because especially with the did the fans ruin amazing digital circus? Because man, I guess we gotta do a little quick little discussion on the fandom of the amazing digital circus. Oh no, here I go. There I go again. Goodbye. 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 Sayonara. See you later. Off I go. Into space. Never to be seen again. To infinity and beyond. You haven't seen it all the way through? Well, there are some spoilers involved in this. I did do a little perusal of the video beforehand, so I am aware of some of it, and there are some spoilers. So if you care about that, you have been pre-warned. I don't know about the crimes one. I have no idea what's in that video, but the title alone of people committing crimes over the amazing digital circus has me very curious. But I guess we should go over the amazing digital circus fandom before we get into the video proper, right? So, the amazing digital circus, I'm sure you all know, you thought it was good. I mean, the show itself is fine. But it's the same thing with like My Hero Academia, which is why I have the My Hero Academia in the title. My Hero Academia is a show that is perfectly fine. It's serviceable, right? But the fandom around it is so toxic. They're toxic and fucking insane. They have taken their preferred ships, their preferred interpretation of everything, and taken it to the ludicrous extent of chasing people down and sending death threats to people over not being part of the Bakugo Midoriya ship, and then posting cringe TikToks about it. Like it's awful, terrible. And like we watched a video not too long ago from the same person, same royalties here person. I love how everybody cried about the ship that actually did happen in the Amazing Digital Circus or My Hero Academia. And in both, shock of all shocks, shock of all shocks, the fucking ship that was being, in the case of MHA, the ship that was being built up throughout the whole fucking series actually happened. You know, the one that has stuff actually backing it up and not yaoi fetish fantasies of Bakugo shoving it up Midoriya's ass. Shocked. I'm befuddled. What do you mean my yaoi fanfic isn't real? And in the case of the MHA fandom, they take that shit so fucking seriously. It's insane. It's insane. I wonder what causes this, right? I wonder what causes this. Is it just popularity that causes this? Because in the case of like the Amazing Digital Circus, right? The Amazing Digital Circus had tons of controversies, I remember, as what I started around episode 5. That's when I started watching the Amazing Digital Circus, and I caught up to it and kept up with it going on through. And I remember like 1 through 4, 1 through 5, nothing happened. And I don't mean show-wise. I mean like the fandom was chill. Nothing was going on. There were no shenanigans. There was no drama. There was no my ship is the canon ship, and if you don't believe with me, if you don't agree with the same thing I believe in, I'm going to send you death threats, dig up your past, and call you a racist. There was none of that shit. And then it was just like from like episode 6 onwards, right? That's when it went fucking insane for some reason. And I don't really know why. Like, right? I don't know why the Amazing Digital Circus fandom went crazy. But it did. And it wasn't even over like the episode 9 stuff where people were mad that I got put in theaters and all that stuff, right? They were doing that shit like way before. Remember, people may not know this. Remember when what the hell is her name? Gangle's voice actor was on board with the Jax Pomni ship. And because the voice actor supported the wrong ship, people started harassing the fuck out of him. That I think they even sent her death threats because she was on board with the no, it wasn't Jax Pomni. It was Jax Gangle ship. It was the Jax Gangle ship. That's what she was on. Sorry, wrong character. She was on the Jack Gangle ship, and because she was on board with that ship, she was a terrible person. She was toxic. She was like, it was insane. It was insane. They're making insinuations about her being a horrible person because she had a fantasy about a ship that wasn't even canon. Yeah. And then there's people like trying to cancel Jax's voice actor because they hate Jax, the character. They tried to fucking cancel his voice actor by pulling up old bits. Like old bits from back in like 2016. It was like 2016, 2019, somewhere around that range, where they pulled up a joke where they found where it was what was it? It was Nega. That was it. There was someone with a name that sounded like the N-word. It was like Nega, Nega. All right, and they pulled that up, and they're just like, and he's making a joke about how it sounds like a different word. They didn't say the word, mind you, but he's laughing because the word sounds like another word, right? And then later, and they're playing Jaxbox, right? I believe Jaxbox 3. It's the Nega Chin. We should talk about the Nega Force. That's what we need to talk about. I'm gonna show that video. That video is really fucking funny. But anyway, and then so they're playing Jaxbox 3, and Jaxbox 3 has that T-shirt writing competition thing where people draw stuff on a shirt, and then the people involved vote on which shirt won versus another shirt. Remember that if you know Jaxbox 3? And someone wrote Nega to making a joke about the earlier thing that happened on the shirt, and they laughed about it, right? They were having jokes about it. And this was apparently enough to crucify him over for the gall of making a joke that a certain word sounded like a naughty word. It's like, what the fuck? And I'm gonna point out, this is on the mild end of what has been going on in this fandom. This is on the mild end. I'm gonna point out, Murder Drones didn't have this shit going on. I'm putting it up on there. Put a point on the Murder Drone board once again for being the superior show. The Murder Drone fandom didn't behave like this. Get fucked. Oh, I can pull the video. Hold on. Oh, people are saying he's a misogynist. Oh yeah. They bring that shit up too. I don't remember exactly why that. I think it was because he had like Murder Drones is good, because Murder Drones is a great show. It's great. I love it. I love it way more than Amazing Digital Circus. I do. Personally. I mean, I have my gripes with Amazing Digital Circus. That's a show, but I mean, it's fine, right? But like, it's not like, here, I'm gonna show you guys this video. Sailor Moon was a wild show. I'm just gonna say it. All right, hold on. Let me make sure everything's on. That's on. Pause that. Open this.
Step right up, dudes. Try our delicious dark fruit.
And instantly become transformed into nega slaves. And once the
Someone needs to enunciate a few syllables there. Someone needs to enunciate a few syllables here.
and instantly become transformed into nega slaves.
And once this dump's imbued with nega energy, then this crystal point will be ours forever.
I just fucking it's so it's so fucking voice acting in a wild timeline. Yeah, hold on. There's more. There's way more than the Negaverse. And there's way more. It's insane. It's insane, this fucking timeline we live in.
The Negaverse. Uh-oh. We have to prepare ourselves carefully. I'm already prepared. Just lead me to him. No, Ray, we must not be hasty.
We must not be hasty.
We need to learn as much as we can about them, then train before we fight them.
I know! Why don't we all take tennis lessons? What?
Fucking Sailor Moon.
Till you see that unbelievably cute.
Have you seen the clips from Ghost Stories? Oh yeah, no, dude, I watched all of that Ghost Stories. I will never submit to, oh, here's one. I'm trying to find that Neander's one.
Boy, and submit to power. Submit to the power of the Negaforce.
It sounds so bad when they say it so fast. It does.
To power. Submit to the power of the Negaforce.
Never. I'll never agree to work for you. I'd rather die. Die!
I don't remember the dub of the Sailor Moon being this bad, too. That's the thing. I also don't remember it being this corny. But the Negaforce is fried chicken. Oh, man. It's so funny. Hold on, Piper's stealthing. Be right back. It's so bad. I love it. Anyway, I was distracted by the goddamn Negaforce. We're busy talking about the My Hero Academia fandom. Not the My Hero Academia fandom. Fuck. The Amazing Digital Circus fandom. That's another distraction. We should start this video.
So when the Amazing Digital Circus was introduced to the world in October of 2023, it took almost the entire internet by storm.
This is true.
Not only did the pilot of the show get over 100 million views in its first month, which as of this video is...
I mean, yeah, just to point out, Amazing Digital Circus was fucking huge. It was huge. I wonder if that's why it became such an insufferable fandom. Because like the same thing with the problem with anime right now, where it's become so popular, it's being flooded with people who just need to fuck off. I don't know.
4 times
I have no idea what happened.
Also, within the same time frame, it already had over 1,000 entries on that one website, and some Harvard analysts predicted that if it kept going that way, it may have contested even the greats of that website, like My Little Pony and Overwatch. And once again,
I don't believe that. I don't believe that's possible
at this point, and people were already applying their bespoke fetishes to the characters.
I think I might have the...
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! The fetishes. Oh my god, I have seen too much. My mind has been scarred by what I've seen from this fandom. The gooner levels that people will go to in this fucking show. And it's not even a sexual show. There's nothing sexy about it. And yet and yet this happens.
Dude, I'm gonna...
Why?
What the...
But everybody was talking about the show when the pilot was released and when it first came out. There were such things like memes.
Of course you know you Rule 34. I know Rule 34. I know. But like, goddamn, you'd think there'd just be limits at some point, or that some people would just be found by. Look, I'm just saying. Some people need to be, we need like a police authority, right? We need like an authority figure to scour the internet for these people, find these people, take them out back and shoot them in the head. I'm just saying. I think we'd be better off as a society if the furry artists would not be around anymore.
Involving the soundtrack.
It's a joke.
There was even a popular misinformation campaign that Jack Black was going to voice a character, and there was countless videos published attempting to analyze why just the pilot of this show was so successful. Yes, that even includes myself when I used to use Minecraft gameplay as B-roll footage.
Oh, the dark times. Oh, the dark days. The dark days of using Minecraft videos as a backdrop. Truly he has improved since then.
But it was early days, come on. This type of instant success and widespread interest in a series, even from just a pilot, especially produced from an indie company like Glitch Productions that mainly released all of their animations on YouTube, wasn't heard of around this time.
That's true.
I know Has Been Hotel existed around this time, but
that doesn't count.
We're not going to talk about that today.
That doesn't count. That's backed by Amazon. That doesn't count. And it's awful. It has a worse fandom than the Amazing Digital Circus fandom. It contests the My Hero Academia fandom. And it's a god-awful show. The more I think about Has Been Hotel, the more things I find wrong with it. I love Hell of a Boss personally. You know, Weevil, we all have flaws, right? We all suffer internally with our own weaknesses in one way or another. You can get help, though. There are people who love you and would want you to get better, Weevil. We're here for you, Weevil. We're here for you.
When I say you fucking plant eyes before lunch, you say, yes, Valentino. When I say you...
Not the voice breaking! Blake, why do you have to do such a good job with voice acting? Oh my god.
Yes, Val. Good.
Where's my goddamn fucking fly swatter? Where is it?
But anyway,
and remember, Vizipop canonically says there's no evil characters in Has Been Hotel. Even Valentino, the turbo rapist, is not an irredeemable character. I'm just pointing that out. Just thought I'd point that out. At least I don't make furry art yet, says the Hell of a Boss watcher. It's only a matter of time. It's like an infection. It spreads.
Community quickly formed around this show. Fans that were interested and excited to see the next installments in this series in some cases, maybe a bit too excited.
What the fuck? What is this? What am I looking at? Can anyone tell me what this is? What is this? It's like oh god.
Cried over Hasbin Hotel, and after today, I will probably be known as the person that cried over the amazing digital circus.
Your inner demon. My fucking inner demon's scary. Fucking hell. My inner demon's fucking terrifying. Notice.
But this increase in
Notice, murder drones is not on that list. Thus proving once again, put another point on the board. Murder drones 2-0. World would not be a better place without it.
tension resulted in what I like to call the My Hero Academia effect, where a show or type of media becomes so popular that some members of the community become a bit too interested, or maybe a little one could say obsessed, where it's the only thing they talk about, it's the only thing they think about. They may even create.
Also, has my scale of VTube of a Sprout moved? Because look, I'm getting cut off there for some reason. I kind of realized that my Sprout has moved. And then for some reason it changed scenes to my test screen. Don't pay attention to that test screen. Go back to the game without overlay screen. I broke it. Hold on. I broke it. Why is it jumping to every other screen but the one I want it to jump to? Thank you. It's jumping to like every other thing I have except the one I want. Technical difficulties. Fucking hell. Yeah, I just wanted to expand this box a little bit. It's all I wanted to do was expand the box so the bottom of my model wouldn't be cut off. I didn't realize it was doing that. That's all I wanted to do. Fucking hell, it turns into a journey. Anyway, what were we looking at? Oh, right. Mental illness.
Such things as ships that make no sense at all and will never be canon, but will still defend them vehemently. And if you utter a single syllable of criticism regarding the piece of media they love so much, they will either crucify you or launch a range of slurs at you. And that's not even mentioning the pain.
Lots of slurs. Oh my god, so many slurs. I don't get ships. Maybe it's because I'm not a brain-addled 14-year-old girl, or 14-year-old girl in the body of a 25-year-old. But I don't understand what is the appeal to this. Oh, I hope these two characters get together. Well, we can tell by how the plot is written that that's not going to happen, and you're being delusional. That is literally not going to happen. Oh, but I think it should happen, and I'm going to pester the writer until they make my fucking delusions come true. What is wrong with you? The colors don't work on this model. Hold on, I'll pull out the other model. You get long legs. You die long legs today. Let me do this. And I got to hold up this. But I don't understand it. I don't understand the appeal of it. And I don't understand why people get so attached to it. It's too late. I already opened it. It's too late. I've already done it. I don't understand. I don't understand why that is. Got to turn on VBridger, but like it doesn't make any sense to me. Like I feel like a sane human being like staring into the mental asylum. People be crazy. I don't even know if like people being crazy. I don't know what you'd call this form of mental illness. It's insane. And then this one where he's getting by angry fans on a Chinese social media, just fucking threatening My Hero because he doesn't fucking because he's not into the ship that you fucking attached yourself to.
creators of the show have to go through if they have fans like this and they don't create something that every part of the community is satisfied with. And in most cases, this minority of the community is so loud they often become the representation of the whole fan base for this type of media, especially for those that are outside of the community. Even though the majority of said community are probably normal people that just enjoy the show, and this small...
I mean, that's true. It's normally not a big part of the community. Oh, no, it won't work because fucking I forgot to turn Mix It Up in. That's weird that the other commands were working, but Mix It Up's not on. No wonder it's not working. There we go. Now it should be working. Replay buffer. Try it one more time. One more time, Weeble. One more time. Now that's... I can't believe I didn't turn that on. There we go. Now it's working. Now it's working.
Percentage of hardcore fans are ruining everything for everybody else.
Yeah, it is just a portion of the fan base. I want my damn Barbie hair. Well, I got your damn Barbie hair. But it is just a small portion of the fandom usually. It's not most people. Because as more often than not, unless you've done something to fuck up, unless you fucked something up, like catastrophically, unless you have catastrophically done something to fuck everything up, most people are going to not really send you anything. The average person will be like, oh, that's pretty good. Oh, I like that. And then move on with their life. They will not get involved. They may leave a like on a video. They'll hardly ever send a comment. Only a fraction of people will ever get involved more than that. It's only the most zealous who get involved. It just so happens that for some reason, the most zealous people getting involved in these fandoms recently have been fucking more insane.
And the Amazing Digital Circus did see a bit of this at the start, but it was more towards the end of the series. It was more prominent, and it most definitely wasn't as bad as My Academia, or dare I say a Has-Been Hotel, but it was still there.
I think you would have to try pretty hard to be as bad as those.
The show continued to do very well. They released more episodes as the years went on. It garnered more and more popularity.
Hold on, Piper wants to come inside. Oh, Piper wants to come inside. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. The doggo is now inside. And now we can continue the video.
Every episode got millions of views. It was talked about everywhere. It became mainstream. And this show as a whole was a huge middle finger to the animation industry at the time. And
it really was. Like, it's the thing. Like, it's the... Hooray, indoor pupper. Yes, she's indoors now. Away from the terrible beasts lurking outside. But yeah, it was huge. It's amazing. It cannot be understated how big the Amazing Digital Circus became. How massive it was. And how much in spite of everything, how much success it garnered for itself. For being an indie animation. I do think that going forward, we are going to see more independent animations happening in the future. Maybe not from Glitch. Oh, I mean, definitely from Glitch. Gaslight District's next. But as we should. But like, I think Glitch really does show to a lot of people that you don't really need that you don't necessarily need to be part of any production company or anything like that. Go through the old channels of animation to get part of the animation industry. Which are, as I hear, are notoriously terrible. I know that the person working on Knights of Guinevere used to be part of was the person who made Owl House for Disney, and that they had really bad times dealing with Disney about what to do, about how to do their show, and how many changes were made, and all that stuff. It did not go. It was a terrible experience for them, and it's nice. It's nice to see. It's really nice to see a alternatives or independent, both animation and film, because as we point out, Markiplier had his big success with Iron Lung. Obsession became like the biggest movie of the past several years. And both of them were complete indie productions. Most animators have issue with Disney. Yeah, like I think most people working in the movie and animation industries in general have issues working with Disney. I in recent years I have not heard a lot of good things from Disney, like at all. I can't like only in like some cases, and usually the cases where people say nice things about Disney is usually when they're having an awful film that's going to come out of it at the end of it anyway. Usually only getting the spots because of political reasons and nothing else.
In the current day, the show has...
Or being a brown-noser.
It had a cinema release generating $20 million on its 4-day domestic opening. It got a Fortnite collab, if that amounts to anything in the current day.
Well, that doesn't matter at all. The Fortnite collab doesn't matter at all, especially since Fortnite... Epic Games has gotten a special thank you at the end of Amazing Digital Circus for like all the episodes, because Amazing Digital Circus is made in the Unreal Engine. So, if you didn't know that, I mean, this Fortnite collab was not surprising in the slightest that it was eventually going to happen once the Amazing Digital Circus became popular enough.
Yeah, it became somewhat of a cultural icon throughout its entire run, and the fans, despite the overwhelming success of the show, some would lose their shit, resulting in one of the creators seemingly stepping away due to what many thought...
Yeah, they would lose their shit. Like, especially with everything around episode 9. That episode 9 is when I would say the shit hit the fan proper. That's when everything around episode 9, and we talked about quite a bit of it back a few months ago. Like, that's when the shit properly hit the fan.
Was fan dissatisfaction with certain elements of the last episode, and backlash because they released said finale in cinema and people leaked the ending and the creator didn't say the correct thing in response, apparently.
Yeah, like, and people were so fucking mad about this. People were so fucking mad about this response Goose gave. And, like, I agree with them, though. I agree with Gooseworks. Who cares? Who cares? Like, honestly, like, even it's not the most tactful way of putting it, right? Gooseworks doesn't have any control over over any of this. That is a Glitchworks. This was a glitch decision that Gooseworks has no control over, and also now that it's out there in the ether, it's been leaked. It was leaked. It got spread everywhere. It got picked up by people who spread it more. And they can copyright claim it all they want. But now that it's out there, and now that people have downloaded it and people have it, you're not going to stop it. So at that point, why should you care? Why should you make yourself work yourself up in the knots into something that you can't control and you can't do anything about? Like, why are you complaining to Gooseworks about this? Gooseworks can't do anything about this. Gooseworks can't fix this. Gooseworks can't snap their fingers and fix all the problems in the world, all right? You're just going to have to live with this fact. You're going to have to live with it. But because Gooseworks didn't say the exact right thing, they started crucifying them over it. It's like, oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God, these people.
Some of the voice actors even had their history dragged up with heavy accusations levied against them.
Yeah, we talked about this.
And the community, despite being viewed as somewhat calm in the years leading up to this, especially compared to...
Damn is right. Damn is right. The fan base, again, as I said, episode 1 to 6, it had some things happening, right? But nothing really that big. Nothing really that big, right? But then, episode 7, 8, and 9, between 7 and 9, especially around 9, everyone lost their shit. I guess I shouldn't say everyone. I did say this was a small part of the community. But that small part of the community lost their fucking minds and went on a massive tirade. They went on a scorched earth campaign. They were dragging shit up about people's past. They kept fucking they kept harassing Gooseworks. The point that Gooseworks probably will not make anything, will probably be retiring and not being involved in anything for a long time. For a long time to come. And like, man, that sucks. That sucks. And it's like, and you claim to be fans of this thing. And I can understand, right? Like, I've complained about things as a fan of something because I love that thing, right? I've done that. I've never once decided to go harass the people making it. Like, they hitting them with things they have no control over. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Would have thought Trump said to him. Yeah, you would think, like, the way people are treating this, like he did, like Jack, like the voice actor for Jax came out and just started goose stepping down just goose stepped on the stage and said, "How Hitler?" With the way they're fucking saying it, like, my God, the guy didn't do anything.
Communities was now
it's
up
insane.
In arms, divided, and just
like, insane is the only word I keep saying over and over and over again.
We're going to be talking about today, both the community and the show, and what nuclear bomb went off, causing.
I love that image of Pomni there, the crucified Pomni.
All this ruckus, but before we get into any of that, we need to know what the digital circus is and how it got so popular.
Specifically, I believe that we can use the religious imagery to get a pretty good idea of what Pomni's story arc is going to be. You see, Pomni is Digital Circus's parallel to Jesus Christ.
Now,
what? Hold on, wait, what? No, you can't fucking do that. What did this fucking man say?
I believe that we can use the religious imagery to get a pretty good idea of what Pomni's story arc is going to be. You see, Pomni is Digital Circus's parallel to Jesus Christ.
Is that where crucified Pomni comes from? Is that, like, I've seen that image of Pomni before being crucified, but like, is that what, did someone actually say that? Did someone unironically say that Pomni was Jesus Christ? Please explain more. No. Oh, hold on. This video's got. I really want to put this video on pause for a minute to fucking go find that. We'll find it afterwards. Someone remind me later. We need to find that fucking video.
Now, obviously, there are spoilers in this video for the Digital Circus, its plot, and the ending. So if you haven't seen any of that and you don't want to be spoiled, leave now.
Well, there's your spoiler warning, everyone. Stick kissing cockroaches down your ears if you don't want to hear anything.
Let's be honest, most of you probably got spoiled from the leaks anyway. To start with, the amazing Digital Circus was created...
Sir. I was in the theaters when this came out. I wasn't spoiled at all. Mainly due to the fact I'm a fucking hermit and a shut-in, and I don't hear about anything. Everyone goes, how am I supposed to not see any spoilers for weeks? And I'm just sitting here going... You guys talk to each other?
And directed by Gooseworks. Someone that even prior to the success of the Digital Circus already had a laundry list of achievements and titles under their belt. They worked on popular shows like Has Been Hotel and
they get banned immediately, but they still come across in the nutty.
Stories, music, and illustrations, which is something they've apparently been doing for a decade.
I did not know that Gooseworks... I was spoiled, sadly. Oh, that's unfortunate. My heart goes out to you. Mildly. Only mildly. But I didn't know that Gooseworks worked on Has Been Hotel. What a black mark on their record.
Kid and a half, which includes their
I would never have admitted that.
YouTube
I would
channel,
never have admitted that.
Uploads, including things like Grabbed by the Ghoulies Orchestra remakes. So Gooseworks definitely knew fucking ball. But Goose has been doing everything from music production to creating and animating their own stories for years to say
Everyone has to make money somehow, says the person who that's just what artists say when they do porn. I never knew that. Holy cow. I knew about Gooseworks' other works. I knew about like their history of work on their channel, but I didn't know they worked for Hazbin Hotel, so that's interesting to know. It is literally just the I'll never do porn $500. How big do you want the cock?
Was so good at creating stories that they even somewhat predicted one of the outcomes in the...
Wait, hey, it pays the bills, don't ask the OnlyFans people? Well, according to the OnlyFans people these days, that doesn't even pay the bills anymore. But anyway, one of my dreams is to create a hateable character and then develop into the kind of growth touch. What? Huh. Oh. All right, Gooseworks. All right, Gooseworks. I didn't know that was your game. All right. I guess you succeeded. Right? So they succeeded? Yeah? I think they did exactly what they set out to do. I didn't know you were so based. All right. Fuck. All right. The ending makes more sense now. All right. All right.
The finale of the digital circus a decade prior. And they also somewhat predicted the outcome of their fan base.
When the circus show comes out, I'm going to have to ask all you to sign a waiver saying you'll be a good fandom and not horrendously vicious, annoying one. Oh, no. I have to make the show bad on purpose. Oh, no. Oh, no. That explains everything. Oh, no. Is that why the show... Wait. Is this why the show changed to being a lot more about Jax towards the end? Was it not that I was coaching the theory that the reason why the show became a lot more about Jax is because Gooseworks fell in love with Jax's character. They became quite they started playing favorites, right, in their writing, so they started focusing a lot more on Jax. You can notice that Jax gets a ton up to like episode 5. Jax has about the same dialogue as everyone else. The same number of lines as everyone else, as people have counted. But once episode 6, 7, and 8 happens, the amount of lines he gets explodes. It gets like 5, 6, 7, and 8. He gets way more lines than all the other characters, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing as episodes go on. So I just thought it was like Gooseworks was just like, oh, I really like Jax's character, right? I just really like the way he's going, and so we're gonna make it more about him towards the end. We know that 7 and 8 were in production hell because Gooseworks basically rewrote the whole thing. We know that's a fact. So I thought that was the case. Is Gooseworks just unfathomably based? Is this what it is? Did Gooseworks just see all the shit happening and just change the entire ending just to fuck with everyone? That would be so fucking funny. That would be so fucking funny if it were true. Gooseworks for president. Yes, absolutely. I hope that's true. Not Pookie, how dare you? I hope that's true. It would be funny. I'm not gonna lie. If they changed the ending, it would be so fucking funny. Yeah, God, I'm like that Timmy Turner meme I'm on my fucking knees, hands clasped. I'm praying to God right now. God, please make this true because it'd be so fucking funny. I would say Gooseworks would shoot right up there being my favorite animator, story writer of all time because that is the most based fucking thing you could do. I quite a few people didn't like, or people went about just to fuck with them, just to fuck with each and every last one of them. That would be so funny. Oh, I hope that's true. I really hope that's true.
Goose started to see major success in 2019 and the years following, as she not only had the opportunity to work on Hell of a Boss and the pilot for Has Been Hotel, and was well acquainted with the creator of both shows, but she also saw success in her independent work published on her YouTube channel, with animations like Little Brunmo released in 2019.
I've seen that Spider Dance video, the Undertale one that was right there. I saw that one a long time ago.
Released in 2020, and Elaine Gets Adopted, released in 2021, to name a few. And she did most of the animation herself, receiving millions of views and high praise for these projects. Jumping to late 2022, she already had an impressive portfolio, and Glitch Productions would...
My God, they have worked on a lot. I didn't even, man, that's a lot of stuff. I didn't even know they worked on that much stuff. That's insane.
Inviting her to their studio to pitch 3 shows, with one of them being...
Why are they crucifying Kermit? Wait, hold on. Why? Why not? I mean, I guess so. If we're going to, we need our production studio to work. Sacrifice the frog to Ball. We're getting very Carthaginian up in here. The fig nuts are not growing in well this year. I better sacrifice my child to a malevolent god.
One of them being the Digital Circus, which would see the release of the pilot the following year.
I wonder what the other 2 shows were. They said they came in to pitch 3 shows. Gooseworks pitched 3 shows. I wonder what the other 2 were. That's interesting. Who's next,
Even
Elmo?
Before the amazing Digital Circus, Glitch...
Like, to be fair, Freakity, you're going to need the power of quite a few patron deities to make the success that fucking Glitchwork has been receiving these days. whatever god they worship, whatever god they made sacrifices to, apparently paid off in dividends.
Productions was already somewhat popular. They started off as a YouTube channel under the name SMG4 that made things like Mario animations.
That's the thing that's fucking insane about this, right? Because unlike, say, Game Grumps, for instance, where it's still basically like it's a quote company, but it's not really a company. It's like just a like every other YouTuber who becomes like a company. Where it's just basically just I'm doing fucking bunny rabbit quotes around this, but you can't even see me doing this. It's basically just them and a few editors, nothing really that special. Glitch has become a full indie production company, a legitimate independent animation production company. She also pitched Gaslight District and Knights of Gwen. She did? That's crazy. Wait, she pitched all 3 of them? Wow. Okay. All right. Wow. Look at this talented motherfucker. All right. I thought each one was pitched by a completely different person. I thought Gaslight District and Knights of Guinevere were pitched by completely different people. All 3 bangers, yeah, apparently so. Though I still have neglected to watch the Knights of Guinevere trailer, the pilot. I still have not watched it. I've seen Gaslight District, and I'm very interested to see where Gaslight District goes. But I have not seen Knights of Guinevere.
Which is briefly referenced in the ending moments of the Digital Circus. They would eventually transition into animating their own projects, founding the Glitch Production YouTube channel,
more
releasing
spicy
the
products.
Of their first official animation in 2019, which was Meta Runners, and it continued for multiple seasons. However,
I've never seen Meta Runners.
Success with their next release. No, it wasn't the amazing Digital Circus, but Murder Drones.
God, I love Murder Drones. God, I love Murder Drones so much. I love this show. I didn't realize it was on Amazon Prime. It's insane. Anyway, I am too obsessed with this show. It has filled up so much of my mind these days. I end up thinking about this show. It's like the Roman Empire for me. When did they add Murder Drones to Amazon? That's what I was saying. That's what I just said. I have no idea. You have no idea how much it devastated me when I heard that Liam's retiring and they're not going to be making Murder Drone Season 2. That's bastard. I should go be a crazy fan and go find where he lives. I have multiple statues. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of the small little miniature ones. I have Doll, Tessa, Uzi's mom, N, Uzi, and J. I don't have V, which annoys me to no end. And I don't have Doll. I don't have Sin either. The fuck. And then I have a larger little statue of V. I want to get the large statues of Uzi, J, Uzi, N, and Doll. But Sin was my favorite character. Oh, I love Sin. Sin is actually inspiring next model design, but that's for later. That's a little spoiler for October, maybe, if things work out. Anyway, but I have that. I have those. I've bought almost every t-shirt of Murder Drones. I've bought most of the hoodies I could find. I still have to buy like 2 more hoodies to have the whole set of Murder Drone hoodies. I have N's Windbreaker, which I kind of regret that purchase because that Windbreaker is kind of a piece of shit. It's like $80 and it's like a plasticky poncho. Like, God, that was a waste of money. I thought it was going to be like N's actual jacket here, but it's not. It's like, God damn it. And anyway, I have 2 Uzi wallets, mainly because I was seeing if it would be a good replacement for the wallet I have, and they're kind of not, so that's unfortunate. And now they're coming out, there's going to be a new fucking merch drop with Jay. The N jacket would be sick. The N jacket would be so good. Oh, it'd be so good. But anyway, yeah. So, and Jay, they're teasing a new product drop with Jay. So I'm wondering what's going to come out with that. And I saw that Hot Topic has like 3 new shirts that I don't own. And I'm upset about this. I'm upset that they snuck this by me. So I had to buy those shirts. So much to do. So much to do, so little time. Anyway, we gotta get back to the video.
It was introduced
Not me gushing about
in
Murder
late
Drones.
2021 and ran for only 8 episodes, with said episodes releasing occasionally all the way up to 2024, which is a format their next project would also follow. This would be a very successful series on their channel, resulting in them reaching over 1 million subscribers.
Oh yeah, Murder Drones was super successful. It wasn't the thing that launched them into the stratosphere like the Amazing Digital Circus did, but the show was so good. Your personal freak assistant asked me anything you know. I know everything. Don't you fucking AI me. Don't you fucking AI me. I'll have to send you to oblivion. I really love the side plot of the raptor chasing the bus. That fucking raptor. That was when they're floating away in space and fucking what's her name tries to wave it away, and he coughs out a fucking air tank to put a hole in it to slowly drift towards her. That part killed me so hard. That was the best part. I was fucking dying. That was so funny. I don't know why it wanted to kill her so bad, but like that raptor had a fucking vendetta. I don't understand it. Which is funny because that's V's quote best friend. Not really V's best friend. I guess not. V's friend, right? They're friends. So.
Late 2022, because a lot of people really enjoyed Murder Drones, from its animation quality, especially surrounding fight scenes, to things like its characters, its story, and the significant gaps between each episode.
Oh god, the sucking I love the story of Murder Drones. Like, there's so much. It has the vibe to it. It has that horror vibe to it that's really. What we did, like, well, John Carpenter-esque. I guess it's kind of the way to put it. A lot of it, like, there's a reason why they make so many fucking, they made so many references to The Thing because it really does take quite a few inspirations from it. It's really fun, which made like Murder just takes so much inspiration from a bunch of different horror stuff that just like, man, it really was just right up my alley of like everything of things I like in a show. It's like it has problems, right? It definitely does, but like, you know. Do you know a line from Freaky from Lookout 3D? Do I know a line? Just any line? A random line? No, I don't. I don't know what that is. I don't know what Lookout 3D is even. I probably would once I remember what Lookout 3D is. I just don't remember what that is. So I'm gonna Google it. Lookout 3D. Darn, can I tell you one? Sure. No, that's not it. Well, I don't I don't think you can Lookout 3D the YouTuber. The YouTuber. I don't think he's the YouTuber. Yeah, okay, no, I don't know him. I do not know him. I do not know him. Let me look at his channel. Let me look at his channel. The this is one of those fucking God, I'm so old. Ugh. God, I'm so old. It really feels like another one of those. A YouTuber has popped up. This is a super popular YouTuber. Everyone loves this person. And I go, who? Who is this? Where are these manufactured, what are these fucking, made in factory YouTubers coming from? Look, man, I'm old. I'm an old man. I'm fucking just like I know that big YouTubers, Jacksepticeye and Markiplier. What do you mean they're over 30? What do you mean that there's someone else? Oh, I'm too fucking old. I'm too old. Too old to be doing this shit, man.
That only made the anticipation
had to watch the Raptor scene again.
Future episodes greater. It was quite well received overall, although some didn't entirely enjoy the end of the series, but for an indie production uploaded to YouTube, it was very impressive and put Glitch Productions.
I like the ending. Check out 2D then. I will watch them later. Fine, I'll watch them later. But I like the ending of Murder Drones. The only problem I have with Murder, I mean, I have several problems with Murder Drones as a story. It's not perfect, but I give it a lot of leeway because, you know, it's someone's first writing project. But it's someone's first writing project, so I'm not too harsh on him about it. There are some things about the writing that's a bit weak, like Doll as a character is kind of weak. She kind of just falls into being a plot device to push the plot forward rather than being an interesting character. But aside from that, right? And the ending really was just we kind of put everything on pause ending thing. We beat Sin, but we didn't really beat Sin because Sin's just now sealed away and is now a problem that Uzi's going to have to deal with until they find a more permanent solution. If they even do try to find a more permanent solution to the solver. Which is why I was sitting here going, man, this would be great but like, man, this is a great place to stop for a season 2, right? That's a good solid cliffhanger for a season 2. And then they go, we probably won't be making a season 2. And I go, what? What do you mean you're not going to make a season 2? You literally ended the show on a cliffhanger to continue the story. What do you mean? What the fuck do you mean? Which is why, like, it's why I say, like, Murder Drone needs a season 2, but, like, as opposed to, like, The Amazing Digital Circus, where The Amazing Digital Circus ends pretty much with everything settled. There's no real direction to take the story with the end of season 1. I'm sure you could make a season 2 out of it if you had someone with a good enough writing chops. You can make a story out of anything if someone's talented enough. But I think it doesn't really need a season 2. I think it's pretty much everything is settled where it's at. Maybe one day Liam will come back to us and feel the urge to write again. Hi, Teddy. Yes, it has been a while, hasn't it?
And
Where have
fans
you
were
been?
eager for the release of the next series Glitch would be producing, and they most definitely wouldn't be disappointed, as the Amazing Digital Circus was their next project, and the pilot alone, as I've reiterated multiple times, was enough to captivate a majority of the internet.
Yeah,
It
insane.
had animation that would only improve in later episodes, a range of characters that were fairly interesting.
That is something I do see people criticizing about, which I find kind of funny. Or kind of unfair to like to point out. Like people, for instance, point out that the pilot for Murder Drones looks awful in comparison to episode 8. And it's just like, well, yeah, that's how they make the show. They make a pilot on a shoestring budget. They see if people like it, and then if people like it, they allocate a budget to it so that it can then get more money over time. Like, that's kind of how it works. That's how Glitch makes their shows. It's smart for an indie studio to do that. So since when money's already tight as is, you can't just dump all the money into a show that you don't know is going to perform, right? Like, you do have to balance the artistic with an actual business sense. Bubble was my favorite character from the Amazing Digital Circus. I do like Bubble. Tell Bubble Daddy the problem. Don't say that. Don't say that.
And a plot that hooked people within the first episode. The show starts with Pomni, someone that came across a headset that most think was due to her hobby of exploring abandoned buildings, and upon putting it on, she had been transported to the circus, a digital place controlled by an AI going by the name of Kane. Pomni does try to take the headset off, but it proves
Why do you swear now?
And she's greeted by other people that also put the headset on and were now trapped in this digital realm with
I think someone has a bias here. I'm not sure who, but someone may have a bias for a particular character. I just don't know who it is.
The only important character being Kinger. Somebody out there is already writing a slur targeted towards me for making that joke. Pomni can't remember her name.
That is not a pic of Kinger I did not want to see. I'm down for buff Kinger.
What she looked like in the real world, and certain things about herself, which is the same for the other characters. However, it is revealed in later episodes.
He's going to break Jack's spine and make him humble.
That they basically have all their memories, like past jobs, hobbies, and experiences, but nothing about their identity. But now she's in the digital circus, she now, along with others, except
the fact we're fucking sitting here and going, God, that chess piece is so sexy.
for Zooble most times are forced to go on daily adventures that Kane creates for them, which most times ends up with one of the characters being severely
I'm right behind you, aren't I?
Kane only forces them to do this in order to apparently keep their minds active and entertained, to mitigate the chance of them going insane from boredom and abstracting, which is where they have mentally deteriorated to the point where they glitch out, turning into a monster that has lost all their memories and sense of who they are, and are also extremely hostile. This is the only way people can basically die in the circus, and there is no going back once you abstract.
Well, no going back as far as we know.
To lock them in dark areas that seem to calm them down. Some have theorized that abstraction is a metaphor for suicide, which, sounds about right.
Yeah, it sounds about right. That kind of sounds about right of what they're going for with that, especially with how Jax ends.
And apparently puts them on these missions to benefit them. Most characters just think he puts them on these missions to torment them in some way, and they don't really work that well since a lot of people have previously abstracted anyway. But it's not entirely Kane's fault. The character Jax is basically responsible for killing 2 people and apparently fumbling 2 baddies.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, Jax is responsible for at least 2 of those deaths. Yeah. For being an asshole. But anyway, Jax is genuinely stupid. How can you fumble 4 baddies, bro? I've never seen a man spit more truths in my life. I've never seen such a more accurate and true statement in my fucking life. He really did. He had chances with 4, and because of his mommy and daddy issues, he fumbled all of them. Insane. 4 chances, and you ruined it.
That basically is what the digital circus is, and Pomni from day one.
His voice to the forever box with him. Nope. Send Weevil to the forever box.
Trying to find an escape from their digital prison, and through every episode you slowly learn more things about the circus and, more importantly, the characters, like their past and key events in their lives, but you never really outright get the whole story. Like, there's only 1 or 2 occasions before the ending where they just drop a character's lore on you, and by the end you still don't get the entire picture. There is still more questions, like how did every character get into the circus, or how is the circus still even?
Yes, that is something that is part of the show. The show very much wanted to keep its cards close to its chest and not explain everything. For instance, we still don't know what CNA is as a company, and apparently CNA as a company has completely folded. They're not even around anymore, and we don't even know why that is. We don't really know anything about like Scratch, the first set of people around. We know that they all abstracted, but we don't know like what exactly led to any of that. There's a lot of stuff we don't really know about, and some stuff that we do get answers for just make generate more questions. But I don't think the show ever really intended to answer any of these questions. It was just something that you could chew on to think about, as it was mostly focused on the characters and their own personal things going on with them. It's why the show was originally going to be like to my understanding, was going to be more of an ensemble thing where each episode was going to be about a specific character until Jack subsumed the whole thing. That's fine, right? That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I do think that the handling of the third party aspect of this show, I honestly, that's probably it. You know what? I've just had to think thonk. My brain is expanding rapidly. Hold on. My brain's expanding. I think the third party aspect of this, the Tumblr, Gooseworks Tumblr account. Yeah, brain blast. I'm having a brain blast. Gooseworks Tumblr account. The voice actor's Twitter account. The voice actor's Twitter's account. And the mystery baiting aspect of the show, I think courted an audience an insufferable audience. I think it's the reason why it courted such an insufferable audience. It attracted a lot of the people who are really into the theory crafting stuff, and the thing about people who do theory crafting, people trying to dive through the mysteries to find out the truth of what's going on, tend to be some of the most biased, insufferable people you will ever meet. Especially when we're talking about internet fandoms, they tend to get really, 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 really attached, just like shippers. They'll get attached to their theory of what they think is true. And if it's not true, they see it as a personal slight upon them. Like they're an idiot for thinking that it could be any other way. Right? And probably with something like the Amazing Digital Circuit, and that's probably why it pissed so many people off, because it didn't answer any of the questions that they had. And they're taking it, and they take it fucking personally. That they'll never get the answer to prove who was right. And to prove that they were right. And not just who was right, but that they were right. And I think that's why everything like deteriorated so quickly. I think that's why it happened. That's my personal theory, and I'll kill each every single one of you if you don't agree with me.
running after all this time. And that's probably one of the best things about the digital circus, because you may get answers to one thing that leaves even more questions. And most times you don't get outright told the answers. You either have to piece things together or make educated guesses. But that is basically the amazing digital circus, and the story is quite good. I can see why a lot of people like it, and it does deserve the attention it has received. My favorite episode, because I'm totally not a LARPer and totally didn't only recently watch the entire series in my spare time, but...
Oh, what a sin. Oh, how dare you not be here from fucking episode 1. How awful. How terrible. God, what a fucking LARPer. What is he doing here in this fandom? Right, fellow been here from episode 1 Amazing Digital Circus fans? Let's spit on this man. I didn't start at episode 5. I didn't come in when episode 5 was new. No, I didn't do that at all. I was here the whole time. What are you talking about?
My favorite episode is Fast Food Masquerade, primarily because when looking
Beat
into
his ass.
works, it was said she worked for 5 years at McDonald's before she got fired. And you can almost tell throughout that episode her experience working in fast food has bled into that episode. And it probably made...
Man, I am so fucking thankful that I never had to work at fast food. The horror stories I hear of the fast food worker and the retail workers, it just sounds so terrible. And even like when I go to McDonald's, right? I go to McDonald's, I order some food, I look at the staff inside and I go, wow, this is the most miserable bunch of people I think I've ever seen in my life. I feel awful stepping into this building. I feel like I've made your day significantly worse by me just being here. It looks such a miserable. It looks like such a miserable experience, especially when they're like old. When they're like old and they're doing this just to get insurance, right? They've retired. I feel so bad for them. I do. I found the Gangle creepy. Gangle creepy. I think episode 5. It was whenever I went to the burger place and I kind of go, oh no, the episode he's literally talking about. That was episode 4. I think that was episode 4. It's literally the episode we're talking about. Same. I never worked fast food, but I worked in the food business a couple times. I was a busboy for when I was working my part-time job. I was a busboy. That was my working in the food service industry. And let me tell you, sucked. It sucked. Wasn't the worst job out there. Definitely wasn't terrible. But man, was I happy when I got my my other job, my job that I've been doing for 10 years now. And I just like go, man, I'm so fucking happy I'm out of this place. I literally left without my money. The last night, as soon as the night officially closed and we were basically we're wrapping up, like, all right, I'm gone. I just walked away. I just turned around, walked out the door, and I'm like, I'm not coming back. Eventually I did come back to get my money, but to get my last paycheck and money, but like I was so happy to be done. So happy to be done with that place. And it's sad though, because it's a really good restaurant. It's a really good restaurant. They make really good food. But I was so soured by the experience. I had not gone back there in 10 years. The last time I went back there was the Mother's Day before last. I took my mother there, right? Because it's a good restaurant. And I was just like, but that was the only time I had been there. And like, actually, at that point, it was 9 years. That was the only time I was there for 9 years. So I can sympathize with those who work in the food industry.
Previous fast food employees watching it relive their own personal Vietnam. I'm honestly curious if Goosewax has like PTSD or something from that one beeping sound found in like every McDonald's.
I hate that sound. As someone who doesn't even work there, I hate that fucking sound. I show up there, and I'm standing there waiting for food, and I get boop 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 boop, and I'm just like, man, if I had to listen to that all fucking day, I'd go insane. I'd kill someone. Someone's face would be in the fucking deep fryer by the end of it. By the end of that day, I don't know who it would be. I don't know fucking who, but someone is. I worked in a dish room in Cracker Barrel right out of high school. And let me tell you, all the throwaway food hurts me. Oh God, people are so wasteful. They're so wasteful.
Even though it's a good show, not like the best show ever, let's calm down a little. It's not being Teen Titans Go anytime soon. And every now and again, there is dialogue that...
The fuck? No, it's better than Teen Titans Go. Bite me.
It can be, dare I say, a bit corny.
I don't care about you or anyone else in this circus in the slightest. End of story. You are my plaything.
Yeah.
But even though it saw great success,
I will agree. That line, that line, I don't know if it was like just like the delivery of the line or the line writing itself. I'd have to really think about it. But that scene was a bit cringe. That scene was a little cringe. It was.
And was highly praised throughout its run, it still had quite a big problem with its fans, especially nearing the end of the series.
Pomni! Can you please sniff your feet, please? Please!
What?
Please! Don't leave me!
What?
So as the amazing digital circus got more popular and...
Why is it every fucking time he goes into a scene change, I am just cursed with knowledge that I didn't want to know. I'm cursed with lines that are going to appear in my nightmares. And I've got strange esoteric dreams that I'll never understand the meaning of.
The amount of fans surrounding it grew and grew. Obviously, this sometimes results in the occurrence of fans that are a bit too obsessed with the form of media in question, to the point where they take said media and things surrounding it a bit too seriously to a delusional level. And as said, this happened to the reputations of the My Academia and has-been hotel communities. And this involves activities like going through the past of people associated with the show and dragging up past situations which nobody had a problem with initially, and most of the things dragged up were mainly jokes or even edgy jokes made.
I thought they were bros because incest is wincest. I don't even know what you're fucking referring to, but all right, that's based. We'll go with it.
Members of the show that no one had a problem with at the time, until they were brought to the forefront of the internet years later. Because apparently, if you like a piece of content, it means that the people behind it have to agree with you on everything. They're not allowed to even joke about certain things, even in their past years.
Oh yeah, no. To be fair, this is a common internet tactic. You see this, we've seen this all the fucking time from politics, for instance, on the political side, where crazy people would just use it to cancel people by bringing up like, oh, you made this joke back when Twitter was first made, back in the yesteryear when you had to make tweets on a fucking stone tablet and send it by post, and we're going to use this to cancel you now. And people still do that to this day. That has been a thing for almost 20 years at this point. People just like, how dare you not be exactly the same person as me and believe the same things I do and say the same things I do and think the same things I think are funny and the things I don't think are funny are not funny. How fucking dare you? It's like, there are tons of egotistical people on the internet who think that they are the end-all, be-all of anything, and they really need to get the fuck over themselves. Man, I remember when they got Papa John's with an old tweet. They did. They went after Papa John's.
Any of that, you will have to vocalize your disappointment on platforms saying you're no longer supporting them or their content, even though you probably will continue watching it, and you also have to make sure to tag them in that same post. And you have to make a big deal out of the situation, assigning the most
You must espouse your virtues. You must stand at the mountaintop like Jesus on the mound and espouse to all the peons that you are more virtuous than they are. Look at this horrible person that I don't agree with, that I'm going to tag them in this tweet so that they know that I don't approve of what they're doing and that I am no longer supporting them because I'm important in this situation, don't you know? I'm not just a random citizen, one of millions who doesn't fucking matter in this situation at all, and probably lying because you're probably going to keep watching. No, I am the most important thing in the room. I am the end all be all. Fuck all you. Fuck all y'all. Just, it's insufferable. It gets more insufferable by the day.
Extreme labels with barely any evidence. Also, if something happens with the show you don't like, or in most cases it's something that's not even the fault of people directly involved with the show, you must go out of your way to blame them entirely, and overall you have to just make a big shit in your adult diaper.
Why would Gooseworks do this?
Thing. That's big.
God, if I was Gooseworks. God, if I was Gooseworks. For starters, it'd probably be a completely different show. Secondly, that's why I'm not allowed to be in charge of a show. I'd be a fucking douchebag about it. I would take the MP4 of the thing from the studio, and I'd make copies of it, and I'd just start fucking posting it myself. I'd be like, you're gonna blame me for the spoilers? Oh, well then, I might as well get involved myself. Here's a fucking spoiler. fucking reply with Jax fucking dies. Oh, I'd be so terrible. I'd be so awful. I would just start throwing hands and just start like going just spoiling every single little fucking thing. It's like, you want to go, motherfucker? Oh, we can go.
Basically how every fan base with a bad reputation functions. Well, that, or they get so obsessed they can't differentiate fiction from reality, or they do the opposite of what I just described a minute ago.
Or the extreme case where you can't separate fiction from reality to the point that you unalive Minecraft a few people in a grocery store because you think Ember the ghost girl is real. So speaking of a fucking dark situation, speaking of a fucked up situation there where your obsession turns into a delusion.
Go on the offense, attacking anyone that says anything bad about the show. And to be honest, the Amazing Digital Circus saw most of everything I just described. First came the accusations against the voice actors of the show, specifically the voice of Jax, Michael Kovac,
we brought this up. We talked about this.
Ashley Nicholas. And this allegation was sourced from a live stream these two did together way before the Digital Circus in 2019, almost 7 years ago. And people were claiming they were racist from one clip from said live stream, where the voice of Zoobles reads out someone's name in the chat, and it sounds like the N-word.
Notice you sent by Aaron.
I'm going to point out that Zoobles' voice actor sounds exactly like my friend Cookie. She does. She sounds exactly like my friend Cookie. When I heard her talking normally when she was gushing over Gangle, French Gangle, I was just like, that's just Cookie. That's literally Cookie. It sounds exactly like her. It's insane. I was like, I messaged Cookie, like, Cookie, I didn't know you were in the Amazing Digital Circus. They say the same fucking things too. They had the same verbal stems. I was convinced for a little bit. Cookie, are you faking an identity? Are you actually the fucking voice actors for Zooble this entire time? Are you fucking with me right now?
Sure.
It was crazy.
Hey, notice you. Chur mega? Hey, Saber.
Hey, sprinkle cake. That's what I thought was said too.
Use letters to spell the longest word you can.
She did not. It just sounded like
sure.
Did
it?
Sure, nega.
You fucking idiot.
It sounded like another word.
No.
So they say N-E-G-A, which sounds like the N-word, and I did have to censor it because YouTube is YouTube, but they don't actually say the N-word. And later on, continuing with the joke, in the game they were playing, they would make...
I personally have nothing to lose on YouTube, so it's perfectly fine if I say nega. What are they gonna do? Ban my 600 follower channel? Oh no.
a shirt with the wedge said on it, and they would all laugh and vote for it.
Oh, thank you, Daddy, for the vote.
Versus.
Right, we talked about this.
Is it? Personally, I think this is like making a mountain out of a molehill. I don't think they are it.
It's not even making a mountain out of a molehill. It's literally fucking... It's literally fucking creating not only the molehill, it's not only creating the mountain, you're creating the molehill. You're literally digging up the fucking dirt yourself to create these mounds. You're literally going around punching rocks to make the dirt, to make the mounds, to make the mountain. That's what's fucking going on here.
All they did was read a chatter's name that sounded like the N-word, laughed about it, integrated it into the...
What game is bro playing? You mean the one in the video background, or this gun? Hi, some dude.
Their game, then laughed about it some more. There was no malice there from...
No, but you're talking about this one back here? Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I think Piper wants to go outside. Hold on, Piper wants to go outside. You're back. The one in the, So, hi, Twitch. Hello. The one in the Vizio background. This one? This is Jack's Box 3. This is a party game, Jack's Box 3, where you play with friends to you do a it comes with a variety of games. This one's a quiz show, basically a horror themed quiz show, and then they also have ones where it's like drawing on a shirt. Hello, Yoda. So we meet again. I'm old too, but young. Jack's Box 3 is really old. Jackbox 3 is pretty old. They're on Jackbox 10 now, I think. They're on like the 10th version of that game. But it's just some party game.
Read a chatter's name that sounded like the N-word, laughed about it, integrated it into their game, then laughed about it some more. There was no malice there from what I saw. It was a joke, and just to reiterate, it was 7 years ago. Come on. And plus, that's like every Jack in the Box game between friends. There is always a slur referenced. Anyway. But
I saw it.
Make a big deal about it. I think one fan that got Jax's voice actor's autograph tattooed on their skin, which, in my opinion, I don't know why you would ever do that. But after
yeah, fucking never get something you're a fan of tattooed on your skin. It's toothpaste, by the way. The bean was toothpaste. Never get something you're a fan of tattooed on your skin, because you'll probably live to regret it.
This drama came out, they would start panicking and post about how much of a mistake they had made and how much they wanted to remove it.
Also, how insane was it good? It's all right. So kind of like Mario Party? No, it's not like Mario Party, because it's just games. It's just one's a trivia game, one's a game where you draw on a shirt, and then your friends vote on which one they think is the funniest. There's another game, and there's like another 2 other games in there. There's 3 other games in there as well. They're literally just those games. It's not Mario Party.
And around that time, one person at a glitch event started spamming the word they said all those years ago at their stall, which led to Glitch making an official statement about it. They even roped Goosewax into this because she had previously referenced the event, so some also assumed she was racist due to this.
How dare these people have a sense of humor? How dare! Truly, they must all be racist and want to... It couldn't just be I'm insane. Am I so out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong. It's an absolutely insensitive joke. Shut. That's Michael Kovac. Like, don't fucking bend the knee to these people. No, never. Here's something, right? If you get caught up in a similar situation, here's my crooked advice for you. Here's 100% guaranteed crooked advice, right? Never give these people a fucking inch. They are like sharks in the water. You give them an inch, and they will smell that blood, and they will come swarming. It gets worse. It never gets better. They don't want an apology. They just want you to hurt. They just want to hurt you. So don't apologize to them. Because as I point out, they apologized. It didn't get better. It didn't get better. They, in fact, got more ravenous after this. And the community got even worse after this. Fresh meat. Exactly. It's because the people aren't interested in a joke. The people aren't interested in an apology. Getting an apology was never the point. It was just to get you to capitulate. That's all. They want to feel morally virtuous and morally superior to everyone else around them, so they want to put you down. And as soon as you do that, they will find other reasons to keep doing that. And they never give them an inch. Never give these kind of people an inch. If you genuinely fuck up, then yeah, you should apologize for it. But this isn't a fuck up. It's a joke.
And with all the attention this situation was getting, the voice actors would respond, where they would apologize for even making a joke about such a thing and apologize for any harm that was caused by it. But they would also add that people around this time were sending them very disgusting things in response. Yeah, see, like they don't care. They don't care. They apologize, did nothing. They're sending you death threats and DMs. They don't care. The best thing you can do is just fucking ignore them. Just ignore them. Get off Twitter for a little bit and just ignore them. Because either get off Twitter for a bit or just ignore them. There's one excuse to fuck with someone. I think it's not even just to fuck with someone. It's not like they're doing it they're doing it for a spirit in nature of some trolling or anything like that. That's fucking with someone. Like, this is just they're just out to eviscerate you just to make themselves feel better. Like, it's insane. Goosewex would also respond to this in a very colorful way, to say the least.
Your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose.
Yeah, okay, well, that's definitely a colorful way of putting it. What disgusting stuff it sure is. That certainly is and again, like, I appreciate the sentiment, right? Don't disagree with the sentiment. Well, not necessarily, at least. But let's point out, all you're doing is just throwing yourself further under the bus. All you're doing is just kowtowing even harder to a crowd of people who do not care if you apologize. They don't care if you believe the same things they do. They don't care if you espouse the same virtues as them. You have sinned. And since you have sinned, you are now a free target. That's all this is. The only way to get out of this game is to not give him power.
Because people also went through Gooseweck's old tweets and Tumblr posts with some from an entire decade ago, and they used things like edgy jokes and satirical humor as evidence to prove she's into things like incest and is a misogynist.
Yeah, see? You espouse the virtues that I believe the same things you do. I'm on your side. That didn't help, did it? Look at that. That didn't seem to work at all, did it?
In fact, it was even believed Goosewex deleted her account some places like
Harry
Reddit
Vanilli,
because people were mad at her for simply saying on a live stream that Jax and Pomni are the two main characters of the show.
Going into this series.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember when people were getting all pissy about the fact that Gooseworks had the audacity to say that Jax and Pomni were the same character, were the main characters of the show. Like, how dare you say such a thing? How dare you, the creator of the thing, say something about the show that I don't agree with? The show that you made. I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense that Jax and Pomni are the main characters of the show. They get the most lines in the show. The show literally centers around them. It definitely centers around Pomni. It definitely centers around Pomni because Pomni is literally the point of view character for the audience. She's literally one of the first people we meet in the show. She is the character that everything gets explained to so that the audience can be brought up to speed on what the fuck is going on. She's literally the one going on the journey of this plot, and she's the one instigating the progression of what progression there is in the plot of the actual plot of what's going on. Like, she's the main character. You don't like it? Get fucked. It's the truth. I mean, Jax became the other main character. I will say that because Jax definitely up until episode 4, I don't think was the other main character. Right? I don't think at that point he was the other main character, but that's another argument.
I never expected one of the things that people would
from
get
me
mad
in a game I'm playing. Oh, you died?
The show focus on the two main characters. I was like, oh, I didn't even know you could get mad about that. It's like building up the show to be about Pomni and Jax. It's like, oh, people are actually really upset about that. I'm sorry.
That's all they said. People were mad the creator of the show made an offhand comment about their show and that two characters are actually the main characters of said show instead of all the others. And they were getting so
almost a killer lost though.
They even
well, at least a killer lost.
Apologized.
This reminds me of when Oda, the writer of One Piece, got a bunch of shit from people on Twitter because he had the audacity to say that the Odin, the Yamato is not trans. That Yamato is a woman. I remember when people lost their fucking minds over that. When the people lost their minds saying that Oda was denying Yamato their trans identity. Treating this fictional character that Oda made, if man, why woman shaped? Exactly. Like treating this character, like oh my god, the sheer audacity of it, the sheer audacity to go to the writer of the show, the person who made that character, wrote that character, came up with the idea of that character, and made everything about them. And say that they're wrong and they don't know the identity of that character, but you, the audience, know better than the writer of the character. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And again, over this thing where just like you have assigned an identity, the trans identity to a character that was never that. You made that up. You put that on them, and when it turned out it was wrong, you're not wrong. The writer's wrong. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, it reminds me of that.
Clarified they didn't delete their accounts down to that. It was other things. And if you thought it couldn't get even...
This is the same man who made the name of a giant woman's chest the size is the world size. It is true. He did do that.
More ridiculous, it kept going, because as said, the final episode of The Amazing Digital Circus also had a cinema release before it would later be uploaded to places like YouTube and other platforms. But before the movie was released in cinema, the Brazilian Portuguese dubbed version was leaked online.
Of course it was Brazil. I'll just say, of course it was Brazil.
Which included clips of important plot points and in some cases just the whole movie spread eagle for everyone to see on things like their Twitter timeline. And fans obviously were annoyed by this. They had been waiting months for this episode, and they've been watching the show for years, only for everything to be spoiled, and they would have to avoid said spoilers like landmines for the next few weeks till the movie was officially released.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for quite a lot of people. Not me, though. I'm just built different.
In the local cinemas. But for whatever reason, some people wouldn't be just mad at the leakers. They would also be mad at the people who created the show, apparently criticizing.
They could say off social media. It was easy for me. I wasn't even involved in any of this shit. Yeah, you would just have to stay off. You would just have to stay off it. But like, as much as you can be annoyed with Glitch for putting it up to be put in movie theaters in the first place, because it would increase the likelihood of it being leaked. It's not Glitch Productions' fault, nor is it Gooseworks' fault that there are leakers, that people leaked it. It's the leakers' fault for leaking it. Like, you can criticize them for wanting to put it in theaters in the first place because this just increases the likelihood of happening, which, I mean, sure, yeah. But, like, at the same time, it's not their fault that this stuff happens. This stuff happens out there. And just, you kind of just, if you would blame anyone, blame the leakers. They're the one leaking the shit.
Them for even having a cinema release. Because if they didn't, things like this would have never happened. And things would escalate when people tried to make Gooseworks aware of the leaks. And in response, Gooseworks, this heathen, this terrible person, had the gall to not really care. And she responded,
"It really pissed me off and the killer killed me." Well, that's what a killer does. What do you mean? Oh, the audacity of this man. The audacity of this killer to be a killer.
by saying, and I quote, "Who cares?"
To glance at the people, all the people I'm following, and Queso has like 40k watchers right now. It's crazy. I wonder what he's doing right now. What's Queso up to right now to get 40k watchers? Doing something? Is he doing like an event or something?
Which is a fair response. What is she going to do? The leaks are already out there. She can't mind wipe all the people that have seen them or do anything about the people that have downloaded the clips and are recirculating them. Yes, her team could remove them down to copyright infringement, but even then, when one is taken down, 10 more will probably...
I lose all my stuff as I die from the killer, which is a problem when you keep getting your stuff every single time in the game. What game are you playing, even? I thought you were saying killers. I thought you were playing DVD. Is that level 14? Ooh. So it's just Queso doing Queso things. All right, that makes sense.
Take that place. There is nothing Gooseworks could have done, and her response was fine. But after responding, some individuals, for some reason, didn't like the way she responded, so they once again threw their shit at her.
I was around for this part. I was around for people being fucking angry that Gooseworks, so they brought it over to Twitter for some fucking reason, even though Gooseworks not on Twitter. They brought the shit over to Twitter, and they were just like fucking being so angry, like people being so mad. How dare Gooseworks not get emotionally upset that someone leaked the amazing digital circuit? Like, Gooseworks can't do anything about it. What the fuck do you want them to do?
Obviously, it's not the whole community doing this. It is the small minority that are way too obsessed with the show and, dare I say, are a bit delusional. And once again, Gooseworks...
Just a bit? Just a bit? I'd say a lot.
Gooseworks did somewhat have the foresight to see this happening even before the show was released. But Gooseworks would respond to the backlash like...
Well, you are the community you court, I guess. I do wonder if the creator has something ever has a what would be the word for it? Not responsibility. I can't think of the word for it. Share some of the blame, I guess would be the word for it, to why their community ends up the way that it does. Because I would say, I mean, I guess it's not really entirely true. Because the MHA fandom's just fucking insane. And I'm pretty sure the creator is it's just a normal person.
Again, saying she knows people are upset about her response, and she just...
I know, like, when it comes to, like, content creators on, like, Twitch or something, they very much play a heavy role in, like, content creators for YouTube, content creators for Twitch. They very much are responsible for the audience that they make. They share a heavy responsibility for the audience that they court. And if their community is toxic, it's more often than not because they themselves are a decently toxic person. Like, it's just it's kind of, you are the community you make. you are what you eat. sort of thing. I wonder if that has anything to do with this. But like I said, it's only a small fraction of the community being insane. So, I don't know. Just maybe a percentile of Gooseworks is percentile this much insane. So it just scales appropriately. I don't. Who can say?
But it's proven way more trouble than it's really worth, and she just can't keep her heart in things like this. Finishing off by saying this has gotten much bigger than her, and she probably shouldn't be the figurehead of it.
I will say the third-party aspect of this was definitely a mistake. Gooseworks and the VA should definitely not be so. Should not be so active on Twitter, especially when it comes to talking about details about the show and shows and things they're working on, things like that. If they're really gonna keep going with this on Glitch's side, I think the VAs and the showrunners and the writers are going to need to take a step back from social media whenever they're working on a show and just not post so much. I do think that the how active Goosework was on, like, Tumblr, for instance, played a role in how the community kind of went insane, because the Tumblr just kind of turned into an AMA, and then you'll notice that a lot of the you'll notice quite a few of the controversies, especially when they're involving things like Jackson Pomney being the main character, that started on Tumblr. That started on a response to someone on Tumblr. And I saw quite a few times of things escalating a little out of control because Gooseworks said a thing on Tumblr that someone didn't like. And I do, and also the whole, a lot of the show is explained on Tumblr and not in the actual show, kind of just leads to a series of problems where I think in the future, you probably shouldn't do this. Glitch probably shouldn't allow their writers to do. The writers, the showrunners, and the VAs to do this while they're actively working on a show. Like, okay, like, you don't need to make it like a whole company policy or anything like that, but you probably should put a hand on his shoulder and go, I wouldn't do that, fam. It seems to end badly. I wouldn't. If I were you, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. No, I wouldn't do that at all.
And this situation got so much attention, in fact, Moist Critical did a video on it.
Unfortunately, I don't see what's wrong with her response. Who cares? I don't see what's so bad about that. I don't know why people be upset. It happens. It was out of her control. All she can do now is just be like, all right, there it is. But what if I told you that Tung Sahur's pregnant? We'll see.
But when the movie did eventually fully release, some people then got mad at Gooseworks again, but this time for things like the ending, more specifically the off-screen abstraction of Jax. Like, Gooseworks cannot win in any scenario, even if she isn't remotely involved in a situation. And I think
either they're not involved in a situation, it's their fault. If they are involved in a situation, it's also their fault. How dare you not do things exactly the way I wanted you to do them? It's all your fault. My parents have divorced? It's your fault, Gooseworks. How dare you? If only Jack's abstracted on screen, Gooseworks, then my parents would still be together.
Why a lot of show creators and animators don't really get that involved with their communities and keep a distance. Because if you are actively involved, you are either going to be trying to make everyone happy, which may change the direction of the show and the way you wanted it to go, or you will constantly have to deal with people complaining and blaming you for everything surrounding the show that in most cases has nothing to do with you. It's probably the most mentally draining thing you could do. And with that said, Gooseworks would later respond to questions about the show, saying she's tired when asked about a season 2.
And at this point, as of this video, as of watching this video right now, Gooseworks has completely deleted their Tumblr. The Tumblr account no longer exists, which If you liked the artwork that was on there, well, sucks to be you, because it's all gone now. Only existing in videos where people talked about what was going on Gooseworks Tumblr.
I'm tired, boss.
And she essentially passes the torch to the next Glitch production show.
So what is Tumblr? It used to be a quarantine containment zone of mentally deficient gremlins who were basically contained in a bubble where they could share porn with each other and do artwork that mostly involved porn. And then once Tumblr then banned all the porn, they were released from containment and spread across the rest of the internet. I do think the day that Tumblr had banned porn from the platform was the darkest day in internet history. And not because of the loss of porn, but because all these fucking jackasses got released on everyone. Released both metaphorically and sexually. Giggity, yes, giggity. But Tumblr was basically just, it's kind of similar to Twitter. It was similar to Twitter. It was similar to MySpace, where it was just a site you could share, it was just a blog site where you could share images, you could share artwork, you could share posts and things like that. You could follow artists and stuff like that, which is why I had a ton of porn on there. And it was just another fan site, a fan site that just became massive. Eventually, Tumblr did allow the porn back onto the site, but by that point, containment had already been breached, and they were all over the place. It was just a fucking mess. Just a fucking mess, Tumblr. You fucked us. You fucked us, Tumblr. You had one job. Keep the morons in check. You had one thing to do. And you failed. You failed!
And tells people to support that, which I think is a completely normal and human response when you've had to deal with all the people have been throwing at you. But even after that, people threw more saying you only made like 9 episodes of a show. How are you tired?
Oh my god. Oh, these fucking people. These fucking people, man. It's fucking... Yeah, I'll animate 3 projects where I voice a combination of 15 characters this year. You know, someone who's been in this industry far longer, and Seth MacFarlane, and fucking someone who doesn't deal with, you know, a rabid fan base tearing you apart every 5 seconds. Seth MacFarlane doesn't give a fuck what goes on Twitter. Seth MacFarlane has "fuck you, I don't care" money. He can do whatever he wants. He can throw his weight around wherever the fuck he wants because he has the wealth and he has the prestige to be able to do that. Gooseworks doesn't. Gooseworks get torn apart every fucking day by morons on Twitter who think they know better. Like this jackass right here. Like, Jesus Christ. I can't believe they're not the same.
So in conclusion, that is the amazing digital circus and its community. It's a community that for a number of years was fairly calm and wasn't that bad, but nearing the end of the series, that's when things escalated quite dramatically, and I do think it did somewhat impact the reputation of the show, especially with the release of the final episode.
Definitely
did. More focus on the drama surrounding it more than the actual show and what the indie production had accomplished. However, as said, it's not all the fans doing the things I described earlier. It's just a small minority that are far more vocal and loud who ruin it for everyone else. But this community is definitely not as bad as other communities, like Has Been Hotel.
Have any of you guys seen a talking?
Why would you keep bringing that up?
For the digital circus episode.
And the next writer is Vids.
The show is pretty good, and I think the people behind it have set a new bar for what indie series can achieve. But yeah, make sure to air out your foreskin if you have one. If you don't, GG's, get f***ed, hood gang. And that's all I had to say, and bye-bye.
Fucking Vidsy Pops. I swear to God. That clip was good. Now I'm seeing Vidsy Pops Fuck! So let's see. Most disturbing crime in the amazing digital circus community. This is the one video. This is the next video we're gonna watch. Let me let the dog inside. We'll start this one. But yeah, I think he's right. I do think that the controversies around the show and the way the fandom behaved definitely damaged the show's reputation quite badly. A lot of people heard a lot more about the fucking controversies around this show than the last episode, which was kind of insane. Not as bad as other communities, but still pretty bad. Still not great. Anyway, be right back. You hate to see it, you hate to see it, but it happens. But it do happen like that. It do be like that sometimes. You can't help your fan base. You can't help the morons you attract. But anyway, what crimes have been committed in the name of the amazing digital circus?
Some of the most disturbing crimes that happen in the amazing digital circus community. And as the video goes on, they go from misguided fan behavior to something that had real people living in fear for their lives.
You hate to see it, but you love to watch it leave.
Has one of the most active fan communities on
I don't know about that, but we'll see.
Discuss lore theories and follow every episode.
Because I think if this isn't going to revolve murder, I don't think they would like to. I don't think they'd like either case.
Danger. And this is exactly what happened on December 12, 2025, when the studio behind it dropped episode 7 of the amazing digital circus titled Beach Episode. Now the show is
I think I know what he's doing with this one. This one, I'm gonna make a prediction. Here. This is about the part where Jax shows images of the real world, and people and the crazy people in the community actually went to those places in the real world and started like harassing people in the neighborhood to see if they knew anything about the amazing digital circus. Like they started knocking on random people's houses and going, "Do you know anything about the amazing digital circus? What's Gooseworks here? Did they tell you about the plot?" I'm just imagining some old lady answering the door, going, "Who the fuck are you people?"
Itself was created by Gooseworks, whose real name is Cooper Smith Goodwin, a 31-year-old animator and writer who first made a name for herself in 2019. When
God, they're younger than me. Hate that.
Went viral. She's also known for composing the songs and coming up with some original character themes for the show Hasbro Hotel. Now, her work eventually led to her teaming up with the Australian independent animation studio called Glitch Productions in 2022.
What's this sound in the background?
The amazing digital circus officially kicked off in the middle of that year, and on October 13th.
What is this eerie droning noise? I feel like it doesn't really fit the situation, but anyway.
A year later, the pilot for the show went live on the studio's YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, we already know this.
100 million views in a single month, which was massive for an independent company.
Ads.
Network.
Weevil, no.
The people who watched it really got into its plot. The amazing digital circus is set inside a colorful virtual world.
Gone, sent to the abyss.
Each of them hides a darker backstory beneath their humor. The fans get attached to the characters quickly.
To be fair, only one of them really had a truly dark backstory. I mean, the dark is subjective. Going through the characters, like their dark backstories really weren't so bad. Like Ragatha had an overbearing mother. Kinger had nothing wrong. I don't even know. I don't think Kinger had a dark backstory, because the only thing that bad that happened to him was when he actually got into the circus. That's when the bad shit happened. Gangle had self-esteem issues because of the grueling work at a fast food restaurant and people not believing in her work. People Zubul has body dysmorphia. Like it's not really like Jax is the only one with a kind of dark backstory, because he might have killed his mother. He maybe killed her, and he doesn't really know if he did or didn't. Though we find out that he didn't. So I'm pretty sure we find out he didn't, if I'm remembering right. So, yeah, it's and that was as dark as it got, right? I don't think any story was really that dark.
And discussions around the show's lore became a big part of the community. Now, out of everyone in the show, viewers were most curious about Jax, a sarcastic blue rabbit who always seemed like
one pissed me off. Which one pissed you off?
Now, voiced by Michael Kovac, Jax is portrayed as cruel and funny, but because of the secrecy he'd been showing, fans have been trying to figure out his backstory since the beginning, and their questions regarding Jax's past would finally get a hint in episode 7. In the episode, there's a scene where Jax is hyperventilating during a panic attack, while having intense flashbacks. And during this, real-life photographs and clips of a suburban neighborhood and a street flash on the screen, for a split second, multiple times. Now, most fans simply thought of it as a creative storytelling choice, and kept watching, but a smaller group of them paused to look closer, with comments on her Reddit posts.
Because her mother was abusive? Yeah. No, did we ever really hear about how her mother was abusive? I'm maybe forgetting properly, so remind me. Because I don't remember, like, I know in the Kane sequence, it was a lot more abusive, but I'm wondering how much of it was just a metaphor and how much of it was real, you know?
So saying things like,
I'm not good at geoguessr, but I'm desperately trying to find the location.
And soon, many fans were going through the footage frame by frame, cross-referencing their backgrounds and street layouts against Google Maps Street View. And within the same day, they successfully matched images to a real neighborhood and started tracing a route from there as well. And 3 years later, on
I remember this. They found him through fucking geoguessr. Never fucking put a task in the. You really probably shouldn't keep real locations. I mean, it's kind of hard not to, but like, you really gotta be careful with this shit sometimes, because as Shia LaBeouf learned, too much to his chagrin, with his "He Will Not Divide Us, Capture the Flag" campaign game, if the internet wants to find you, they'll fucking find you. You will not be able to hide from them. They will find where you live. They will cross-reference the most obscure shit to find your to find out where you're living.
An unnamed fan called out Cooper on Blue Sky, the platform which works similarly to X, where Cooper was the most active at the time. The fan commented on one of Cooper's posts, saying,
"Sorry Goose, this is random and irrelevant, but do the clips of real life in episode 7 like mean anything? Because TikTok has already doxed the whole neighborhood and the route to New Jersey from there, so is it important to the plot or no?"
Goose works, they're driving to New Jersey right now. Goose works at, please, you have to answer, is this important or not? Because they're going there now. They're going. Who are you? How'd you find out where I live? I'd forgotten about the Shia LaBeouf flag until you said something about it. Yeah, no, it was a fucking wild. They used cloud locations and they used the angle of the sun in the sky and seeing one passenger plane fly by to triangulate the location of where the flag was at a specific time of day. Oh my God. The sheer level of the tisms going on there was just unfathomable.
An hour later, Cooper replied,
"It's not holy, don't do that."
Now fans had figured out that the house was in Missouri and the road was in New Jersey, and it wasn't long before Google Maps screenshots of both locations were circulating on TikTok. The community was talking about possibly visiting the spots themselves.
So the suburb was in Missouri, but the other one was in New Jersey? Like, who are you? How do you find out where I live? They should have sent him to find Osama bin Laden. They would have found him immediately.
Looking for the specific location.
Where? I need the exact address.
Exact address.
On December 16th, a Reddit user named Splits Personalities posted a warning on the amazing digital Circus subreddit with a post titled,
"Please stop doxing neighborhoods,"
and included the screenshot of Cooper's comment on Blue Sky as evidence of how far things had.
Well, does it really, is it really, I don't know. Is it really a terrible thing to dox a neighborhood that's part of an official production? It's part of the show. And you go to the neighborhood, you've doxed the neighborhood that was a part of the amazing digital circus in some way. I mean, I guess it depends on what people do, right? So like, you dox the neighborhood. Okay, you can't really. It doesn't count as doxing if it's just showing the location of a neighborhood. Now, I don't know. That's kind of a tricky one to me. Now, it really does depend on what people do once they get there. If people just show up to the neighborhood and go, "Oh, this was the location that was used in the show. That's cool. Take a picture, leave." That'd be fine. But I'm pretty sure that's not how it went.
Split personalities later wrote,
"Even I was terrified when it started. As soon as I saw the IRL,
or what turned to a Hitchbot scenario 2.0. I think it'll get worse than Hitchbot, don't.
I knew there would be trouble."
And from the production side, there was no formal post or an explanation of any sort addressing the situation, beyond that one comment response by Cooper. And people in the comments couldn't believe she even had to say it, and they started listing what could go wrong.
Well, I mean, what do they say? What can Glitchworks say in this situation? Don't do that. But do they need to say that? It's common sense. It's common sense. Don't go tracking down random neighborhoods to start harassing people.
Fans are genuinely crazy. They will knock on each door and try to get in or something.
The second post then appeared on Reddit, titled,
"We went too far, myself included."
Written by a fan who went by the username Fans and Shy Bunny. In it, they admitted to posting
people lack common sense now. It's true.
Fans then attached a screenshot of the Blue Sky comment thread that had been mentioned earlier, but this time it had a newer reply. A user named Forian Studios had asked Cooper,
"What was the point of it, if not for the story?"
And
what was the point of using a real location if not for the story? It's debate with the story. It wasn't meant to be a fucking ARG where you have to go track down the hidden location to get the next plot point. This wasn't a fucking treasure map, my dude. It was just a story.
The filming location itself has nothing to do with the story, geologically, and it wasn't even filmed in the same state Digital Circus takes place in. It's just a visual, not an alternate reality game or scavenger hunt. Everything that's
it's a forbidden treasure map. Wealth, fame, power. One animator held that and more. with Gooseworks' final words, they told the crowd, if you want the plot of the amazing Digital Circus, go find it. I left it all in one place. And so began the Great Pirate Era. Oh, I need someone to make that into a bit. I feel like it's what Oda's going to do for the final issue. No, Oda's final issue is going to be the One Piece was the friends we made along the way, and then it's going to be 30 pages of him laughing in a bathtub full of money. That's what it's going to be.
Presented in the show itself.
Now, after Cooper's response, some of the writers' posts came down, and no confirmed incidents were reported at either location. But the debate that followed split the community into two camps. Some fans argued that this was not really doxing at all, saying it would only apply with personal information like names and contact.
I mean, that is the thing, and it doesn't seem like anyone got hurt. It doesn't seem like they were harassing the neighborhood. So I mean, I guess it's not really that bad, right? If they're not harassing anyone, they're just standing on a street corner. That's not, I don't know. It's not really that bad.
Details were released, and that identifying a public street from a show is something different entirely. But many other fans disagreed, because finding the location is one thing, and what people do with it is another. This has happened before actually, and fans were quick to point that out.
This fandom works as fast as Gravity Falls fans, I swear.
The Gravity Falls community is probably the most well-known example of a fandom that got so deep into hunting for hidden codes and real-life secrets that some people genuinely lost track of where the show ended and reality began.
Oh, fucking hell. I forgot about that. I completely forgot. Yeah, the Gravity Falls fandom was insane. They were literally going to Oregon to track down information about this show. It was fucking insane.
Steam Universe fans once tracked down a real motel that appeared in the show and review bombed it into the ground. The Five Nights at Freddy's fandom harassed actual...
Probably because it was a shitty motel. But anyway... Never watched Gravity Falls? It's pretty good. I liked it, at least. It was a pretty good show. I liked it. I think it ended pretty well. I hear they're trying to bring it back, and I'm just like, why? It ended perfectly. There's no it ended well enough. There's no reason to continue the show. The pizzeria is not affiliated with the fans with FNAF. Stop saying, are they calling Charleston Cheese the Third in his fine establishment and telling him, trying to get FNAF information from him? Also has some weird ass shit on their fandom. Oh yeah, they do. They most of them prefer it as hell. Yeah, I mean that's all these fandoms. But like, yeah, I remember people like going on like ARG scavenger hunts to try to fucking find information about the show. Like the showrunners were just hiding clues out in the woods somewhere. It was fucking insane. Yeah, they're trying to bring back Ed, Edd and Eddy too. I don't why. Like why? It's like when they brought back Futurama. Like Futurama ended, and then they're like, oh, well, we have a new season on fucking whatever that fucking streaming service is, Hulu. I don't think anyone watched it. I don't think anyone watched that shit.
Pizza restaurants through calls over fan theories, and it got bad enough that MatPat, a YouTuber known for his beloved and long-running pop culture analysis series called
My brother did. Did your brother like it? Because I've heard like basically nothing. I've heard very little about it. It didn't seem like it really made much of a splash at all.
Theory had to address the community directly. And then there's the Breaking Bad house in Albuquerque, a completely normal family home that still has strangers showing up to throw pizzas on the roof to this day, years after the show finished up, and the family living there eventually had to put up a fence.
That's fucking insane. All right. You said it was not as good as you said it was all right, not as good as the original. Yeah, I figured. Yeah, that sounds about right. At least it wasn't a travesty, I guess.
Now, in hindsight, a few people in the fandom knew that this would happen, and a user named dare_soft posted a question on the Reddit that most of them were already asking.
How did Gooseworks legitimately not think that the fans would try to find the IRL locations when she's seen the horrors the fandom commits?
But Cooper had
To be fair, I don't think it's fair to point to the showrunner and go, how could you not foreseen that someone was going to be crazy? Like, how dare they not think that you would be fucking normal for a second and not think that I'm leaving clues and mysteries for you to go out and find in the world? Why would I do that? I'm writing a story here, not a fucking treasure map.
Nobody explained that the neighborhood was not a clue to anything at all. It was simply a way of showing that Jax had nobody waiting for him in the real world. But part of the fandom had decided that it was something to investigate instead. In this next case, however, the people involved had never once wondered about the story of a single character. They just watched the show hit millions of views and saw this as a chance to benefit from someone else's success.
From groceries to clothing, to electronics, online shopping is changing the retail landscape. You get convenience, but you might not be getting what you're actually paying for.
The amazing digital
fake
Circus
products
had reached international audiences and hit millions of views. Brothers Kevin and Luke
That makes sense.
had spent years building glitch
I have that
productions
shirt.
from the ground up. Growing up in Sydney, Australia, the two of them had spent their afternoons after school working at their parents' food shop together. Kevin, the older of the two, was born in June 1994, and Luke came along 5 years later in May 1999. In 2009, at around 10 years
Jesus Christ, they're both younger than me. Why are they both younger than me?
old, Luke started experimenting with YouTube,
Feeling
uploading
old.
slideshows and recording glitches he found in Super Mario Sunshine. Then in May 2011, when Luke was just 11 years old, he took it a step further. After talking it over with Kevin, he started recording Super Mario 64 gameplays, dropping a meme-filled, chaotic version of Mario into absurd comedic storylines and adding text overlays on top. And the channel was
Wait, he's fucking
MHA,
11?
short for Super Mario Glitchy 4, an independent fan-made parody built around the Super Mario characters. This
Crazy.
series also included a character named Super Meme Guardian 4, who was based on Luke himself, and what started as a kid's hobby after school kept growing. By August 27, 2014, 3 years after he started the SMG4 series, the channel had passed 150,000 subscribers, and by October 2016, 2 years later, it hit 1 million. Now Kevin stepped in as the producer and head writer that same year, and together the two brothers turned what had been a hobby into a real operation that would soon lead to more milestones.
Nice.
And on May 27, 2017, just 7 months after hitting 1 million subscribers, they formally launched their studio, initially calling it Glitchy Boy, before rebranding it to Glitch Productions a year later.
Yeah, Glitch Production was a better name.
They started creating their own original
that was
animated
way
series
better
from
than
scratch.
Glitchy Boy.
The first original series was called Meta Runner, and it
We've
was
already
released
seen
on
that. We've already heard
25th
this a million
July
times already at this by this point.
2020 by Murder Drones, a sci-fi action series that became
God, I
a
love you,
choice
Murder
for a
Drones.
Webby Award. otherwise known as the Oscars of the internet. Now, this was one of the most respected honors for internet content, and the show received a nomination for Best Animated Video Series in 2023, 3 years after its release. And on October 13th of the
Such a
same
good
year,
show.
the Amazing Digital Circus launched, making Glitch the most subscribed independent animation studio on YouTube with over 21 million subscribers. And
we're aware of this. We're aware of this. There's not much for me to talk about here.
Should have seen coming. The show was everywhere, and so was the merchandise. And if you search for Amazing Digital Circus merchandise on different digital marketplaces like Amazon, AliExpress, Alibaba,
is this really?
Temu, you would have found hundreds of.
Is this really a fan thing though? Like this is the this is crimes of the crimes. Oh, I guess it's crimes in the Amazing Digital Circus community, so I guess it counts. It's in the community. There is a crime being committed.
Shirts, hoodies,
I would think it was just more like from the community rather than some scammer.
The prices were reasonable, and fans believed that the products had been made with the studio's involvement. But none of it was. The sellers weren't affiliated with Glitch in any way. They'd taken the characters, the logos.
No, if you don't, like, the only ones that are affiliated with Amazing Digital Circus, and the only ones that are affiliated with the Amazing Digital Circus are like through Hot Topic. Like, they're the only ones actually affiliated with them. They're them and their store.
And the branding directly from the show, and simply slapped them onto products manufactured as cheaply as possible. And when those products showed up at people's...
I mean, that's a ton of things, though. That, like, basically every single popular franchise or property or whatever the fuck has, like, people it has tons of these scammers like this where they'll just make they'll make official products of the thing, and it's usually just some piece of shit that just they took a character image from the show and horribly stenciled it onto a hoodie, and some shit like that, right? Like it's always some hackneyed piece of shit that's made at the cheapest dollar to turn the quickest buck, to latch on to something that's popular at the moment. And like every show has this problem. Every successful IP has this problem.
Stores, there was no way for the buyer to know who to blame, because the listing had been designed to look like it came from the studio that made the show, and that damage landed on Glitch's reputation and revenue. And by the time Kevin and Luke had registered their trademarks with the US government between June 2023 and March 2024 for murder drones, the Amazing Digital Circus, and a brand of collectible figures called Animates, the counterfeiting had been going on for so long that there were already hundreds of stores to deal with.
Oh no. You really should, unfortunate, you really should get that copy. See, you know anything about copyright, you really do need to get it done early on, or else the shit like this happens.
So by late 2024, they'd had enough. Starting November 19th, Glitch began filing a series of lawsuits in US federal courts, the highest level of courts in the country, against groups of counterfeit sellers. Each time they asked the courts to act without giving the shops advance notice. The reason behind it was simple. If sellers found a freeze on their accounts was coming, they could move their money overseas before it could be stopped. Now the courts agreed, and the account freezes began, meaning the sellers' marketplace funds and bank accounts were locked. Then, almost 5 months later, on April 7th, 2025, the company filed their biggest case yet, listing 158 sellers in a federal court in Indiana. They asked for all of them to be shut down and their profits to be handed back. And on May 8th, a month later, the court granted every single request. And Glitch just kept going after their Indiana win.
Just beheading them, just executing them on the spot, left, right, and center, as you should. You can't be lenient with these people. You have to stamp them down, or else you have to make an example of people, or else someone else will just pop up and just try to do the same thing again. You have to make it a very untantalizing prospect, or else people will just keep trying.
Filing more cases and targeting new groups of counterfeit sellers across different courts. As of May 2026, the company's legal battles are still ongoing, but at least these sellers kept their distance. In the next case, someone went straight for the company itself.
Do you have any idea how hard it is covering crypto, covering meme coins, trying your best to tell people that you can be smart and make money in this space?
Back in...
Are you... No. We're not doing a fucking Amazing Digital Circus themed Bitcoin. Surely not. Surely someone would not be so fucking stupid as to put money, even try to entertain such a notion.
September 2023, at Glitch
surely not.
Event called Glitch X, they announced an upcoming series called The Gaslight District. and this announcement alone was enough to get people talking. Fans started following it immediately, looking for any hint of what the show was going to be, and by early 2025,
God, I'm so interested to see where that show goes.
Had only grown, and the Glitch's official Twitter account, @glitch_prod, was the main place fans went to for anything related to the studio and its projects. Now, when a post came up, the community paid attention, and anything even remotely connected to the Gaslight District got engagement within hours.
Very interested to see where Gaslight District goes.
When fans opened the app and saw the studio reacting to a brand new X account called the Gaslight Coin with a pair of eye emojis, they stopped scrolling. This account was promoting an official cryptocurrency token for the Gaslight District.
Oh no!
$TG.
What? How the fuck did this happen? How the fuck? How did you? Why did you react to this? How did this happen? Did they get hacked?
New X account called the Gaslight Coin with a pair of eye emojis, they stopped scrolling. This account was promoting an official cryptocurrency token for the Gaslight District, listed as $TGD.
Cryptocurrency for Gaslight District.
Animation itself, but included no method as to how it would appear in the show. But within minutes of the post going live, the Gaslight Coin account would be taken down by X support. But about an hour before the Glitch post ever went up, Kevin had already posted this from his personal account.
Hey y'all, the Glitch Twitter account @glitch_prod.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, so someone hacked their account to try to get the Bitcoin. Probably, most likely, the people who are trying to benefit from this.
Contacted the support to try and get this fixed, but for now assume any activity on that page isn't us.
This meant that Glitch had not posted any of them, as they were not in control of their own account. Now, the warning had been out there the whole time, but Kevin's personal account was not where hundreds of thousands of fans went for Glitch news. Most people following the studio's account had no.
You really should have replied to that.
And so when
you really should have quote tweeted this post here and gone, "Hey, this isn't us. Don't do this." I would have been fucking spamming that shit everywhere.
The post of the coin promotion came up, it was unclear how many people may have already interacted with it before seeing Kevin's warning.
To be fair, right? Okay, the Glitch board couldn't get the warning out. Don't fucking buy Bitcoin. I think at this point, right? I think at this point we could just say that Bitcoin is a fucking waste of time and a waste of money. I think we can all agree on that. And if you're especially if it's like a themed Bitcoin, like a meme coin like this, it's such a waste of fucking money. It's a waste of funds. Like, why? So don't even. If you put money into Bitcoin, I think you deserve to lose all your money. I'm just saying, if you put money into this, you're a special kind of idiot.
Now, a fan of the show named Not Charles Dion posted a warning on the Amazing Digital Circus subreddit.
Glitch Productions Twitter/X has been hacked. Do not fall for this.
Now, some people still thought it might be a late April Fool's joke, while others were frustrated, calling it another predictable crypto scam. But one fan had already fallen for it.
I just invested $500 into the coin and lost it all.
Idiot. Moron. There. Your Honor, there's the idiot. You deserve that. I can't believe you fucking idiot.
Now, this would be
how do you fall for that?
From this person, and what happened to them after, whether they tried to get their money back or not, is unclear. Now, within days,
you're not getting your money back. That's gone.
When the studio was hacked, were taken down by X support, and the studio's social media team were given back access. However, the hackers weren't done yet, because on April 8, 2025, 6 days later, they took control of Glitch's X account once more to promote a meme coin, a type of cryptocurrency based around internet trends that usually.
Fucking God damn it! How did this happen? My money to Bitcoin was when it first dropped and no later. Yeah, when the initial hype was around, when Bitcoin just came out. Okay, I can see why you put money into it at that point, because at that point it was the hype new thing, and it also you could actually make money on it at the time. Now it's not worth your time.
It has no real value behind it.
Working with the team on launching our own Glitch meme coin.
Now, between these
and that was also a very short window of time.
On Twitter, so he couldn't see what the hackers were posting. The following day, April 9th, 2025, the owners of the Glitch account finally regained full access. And to prove it, they posted a piece of artwork for the Gaslight District that only the real team would have, with the caption,
PS, freak crypto hackers.
Now, there were no more fans who came out saying they'd fallen for the post, but the scam had run for a full week across 2 separate coin promotions, targeting all the fans who had every reason to trust what came from that account, and whoever was behind it was never identified. Now, Glitch had dealt with
whoever owns the cryptocurrency.
The same with their platform, but this next case is different because what was taken was someone else's reputation, and that is not something you can get back with a single post.
Assure them that it's not their fault. Don't confront the alleged abuser. Explain to the that you're going to call someone that can help, and report your concerns to CAS.
What?
Sean Chiplock is a 35-year-old voice actor, best known in the amazing digital Circus community as the voice of King, who's the anxious, excitable chess piece who became one of the most beloved characters in the show. But his career actually went well beyond the circus.
What?
He'd also voiced Rivali in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and One Shot Ren in SMG4. And for years, Sean had been carrying something with him that had...
Oh man, he's voiced a ton of characters. He votes he's voices Dub Subaru?
nothing to do with any of those characters.
Oh look, he fucking even used JoJo's Bizarre Adventure too.
It was an accusation, which started on July 1st, 2024, when an
ex-user
named Brinda made a post that reached nearly 4 million views.
When I was young, Sean Chiplock attempted to do stuff to a trans boy. The person that was my friend, but he left the internet, so the only person to tell the story is...
Oh no, not a fake accusation. Not an accusation with nothing to back that up with. You're bringing it up now. This is the part that makes you, like, this is the thing. You can't trust accusations either. You can't trust accusations because it's becomes so easy to drum up any form of outrage, which it's a mere accusation from people on the internet these days, that you can't trust an accusation because you don't know if the person's telling the truth or just trying to hurt people or trying to exploit people for money. But you can tell when someone's lying a little bit though when they come up with an accusation like this. For instance, no proof. There's no evidence of anything this person's saying. There's nothing involving this. It's just a story. It's just a he said she said situation with nothing to back it up. And on top of that, they're bringing it up now when they were a less than 18-year-old child years ago, and apparently you just decided not to do any of this. You decided not to bring this up. You decided not to say anything about this until now, when he's reached the height of his popularity. This is when you decide to bring it up. It's a little convenient, don't you think? You would think you would have brought it up at any other point in the past, but instead of now. And also, it's not even the person making the accusation is the friend of the person. He's not even the person himself. So this alleged friend is not even involved.
She was speaking for a person named Casper, who was no longer active online. Casper had previously described an experience...
Yeah, Casper has left the internet, so they can't speak for themselves. So I'll tell their story. Yeah, I'm sure.
And Vina was now bringing that story back into the public view. But this was not a news story. The first time anyone mentioned it publicly was back in December 2013, when Casper wrote about it on Dividend, an art-sharing website. In the post, Casper talked about how he and Sean had first connected on a platform for Affinity.
So now the story thickens at least a little bit. Well, the story thickens a little bit more. At least that just was brought up back in 2013, so that's something, at least.
The community centered around the furry fandom, before moving the conversation to Skype. Sean, who went by Pommy, or Sonic Mega, online, was 23 at the time. His first message to Casper was sent through Skype at 2 AM on August 28, 2013, and it said in an uncomfortable tone.
Is this the part where I awkward type explicit roleplay paragraph and then send inappropriate photos while asking for free art, or am I doing this very thing wrong?
Now as the conversation progressed...
That's fucking cringe, man. That's fucking cringe.
Sean allegedly sent suggestive audio recordings of himself to Casper, who was significantly younger than him at the time, and began asking inappropriate personal questions. Now Casper wrote that he'd removed the recordings afterward, but still had other records of what had taken place.
I am young, and he's a grown man.
But this original post in 2013 was not paid enough attention to at the time. And
All right, that's at least something. But again, if you had all this evidence before, why are you bringing this up now? A decade, like, it's not even a decade later. It's fucking... It's more than a decade later.
5 years, the post...
Why didn't you take this to the police? Exactly. Why, if you have this and you know who the person is, why haven't you taken this to the police? This is a crime. If it's true. Note, the police have not gotten involved, despite the fact this is a serious crime.
That mostly unnoticed. Then in 2018, the same story
and it just went unnoticed for some reason.
And it was at this point that Sean responded publicly for the first time. He didn't deny that a conversation had taken place, but argued that the person in the screenshot wasn't Casper at all. It was a woman named Melanie Harry, who went by several names online, including Purple Keklia, or in short, PK. According to Sean, Melanie was an adult he previously worked with, who had turned on him after a falling out, and was using...
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense. That makes way more sense. Someone's a little pissy and is deciding to use old messages to get back at him. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That would fall more in line of what makes sense in this situation. Why they waited so long, why it's suddenly a thing now, why the police aren't involved if it was a crime. Because it wasn't a crime. It was just cringe.
Casper's online presence to fabricate a story and destroy his character.
I would never send unsolicited material to someone, audio or otherwise, without getting a prior okay first. My career is too precious to me to risk it over something that's stupid.
This Reddit thread moved on, and when the story resurfaced on Tumblr the following year, it once again faded without reaching a wider audience. But 5 years later, when Rena brought it to X once again in July 2024, which was around 9 months after his character King.
Oh, okay. So this is just something that's just been fucking drifting around the internet forever.
Had become a fan favorite in the amazing digital circus community. Sean Chiplock had already built up his reputation, and so the scale was completely different. And on July 2nd, 2024, the next day, Sean responded by addressing Rena's post directly.
Personally, after the second time this come up, I would have started suing people. But, you know, I would have started fucking going and throwing hands immediately. I would not have let this just fucking drift around on the internet forever.
Entertained and often repeated, long outdated, always on behalf of another accusation. Every year, I'm made to have to address this time and time again with clients, communities, colleagues. Every year I'm forced to revisit this, and the person who began it all, laying out every detail, because my literal career is on the line. Every year it is debunked.
He denied everything.
I did not do stuff to a younger person, and never have. Any claim otherwise is patently false.
And this post looked like the end of the whole situation, but Sean would unknowingly be met with a response from Casper on the same day.
I'm the Casper in these docs. I'm choosing to come forward to add credibility to these allegations. Sean.
So you say Casper is fucking unmarked Twitter account?
Chiplock is a creep.
In his thread of posts, he confirmed he was significantly younger than Sean when everything happened, and wanted to come forward and put a name to the story. After
I don't believe
the questions people frequently asked about a story, he said he didn't want to talk about the matter ever again. But Sean wanted closure, and within hours posted this.
Casper, if you'll permit me to speak with you, I would be grateful to have the conversation you should have been allowed about what you experienced. I want you to be able to properly express your frustrations, and to apologize for my own behavior.
Even though Casper didn't want to talk about his experience or anything related to it, again, he replied,
I don't want to have a private conversation with you. All I want from you is to stop deflecting the blame to PK. Admit the screenshots are real, and apologize.
Sean
is it real?
In the first he said he had no way to verify that the screenshots had not been edited, and in the second he added,
this doesn't change the fact that if I made you uncomfortable in any way, I'm genuinely sorry. I apologize for ever making you or anyone
this shifted quickly.
But these back and forth replies had played out the whole day, and people in the comments were confused whether Sean was denying the allegations or admitting to them. But Sean was not yet done defending his name.
Yeah, he definitely fucking just shot himself in the foot if he was fucking trying to deny this. Even he could be trying to meet him halfway and just I'm sorry if I made you uncomfortable, whoever you are. Just trying to diffuse the situation like that. But I don't know why you would do that. And then, but at the same time, you're just muddying the waters. So now even I got the audience, I'm fucking confused. Did you do this or did you not do this? Is this true or is this not? And if this is not true, why the fuck did you say that? If all this is fake, Sean, what the fuck are you doing? Neanderthal. This is the stupidest thing you could say. Because it makes you sound guilty as fuck.
On August 6, 2024, a month after the exchange with Casper, Sean published a document about the issue, going through everything in detail. His original claim that
the Google Doc
fabricated the story using Casper's identity was gone. Now he was arguing something else entirely, that Casper had actively presented themselves as an adult across multiple platforms, with accounts listing ages of 18, 19, and 20, and had...
Okay, now you're changing up the story quite a bit. Now I'm beginning to... Now, okay, Sean, did you fucking do something? Sean? Do you want to be honest here for a second? Because I think you're lying. I'm so confused. I'm so confused.
Opted into content on sites that required users to self-identify as 18 or older. So in Sean's view, he had no reason to believe otherwise. And the two would lay low for the rest of the month. Then on August 30th, 2024, a community member going by All Hail the Queen Uwu on Instagram, who's called Queen by fans online, posted an announcement.
Finally, freedom. The false allegations between Sean Shiplock and Casper are finally over. They were very understanding to one another.
Now, nobody had known it was happening, but she revealed that she'd been quietly working as an informal mediator between Sean and Casper since August 6th, the same day Sean put up a statement. Queen listened to both sides of the story, and both parties made up and even approved of her posting this on Instagram. For Sean, this is what she had to say.
Sean acknowledged that he behaved inappropriately, but accusing him of doing stuff to someone over a 1-hour conversation that was 11 years ago is disgusting. Let people change and grow for the better. Sean apologized to Casper, and Casper forgives him.
Meanwhile,
okay, so that sounds like he is guilty of what Casper accused him of, though. Like that sounds like Sean is guilty. That's bad. That's really bad.
Casper
never wanted to spotlight, nor claimed that he was attacked by him. While yes, Casper did call Sean out, but at the same time he even defended Sean, confirming that Sean never knew his age. Leave Casper alone.
Queen's last message was not to the fans, but to Rena, the one who brought up the issue again.
It's really simple. Rena, you lied. This caused more harm.
Okay, so Sean did lie, kinda, thinking it was PK. But it was telling the truth when they had no idea that the person was underage in those DM messages, when they were underage in those DM messages. Which, that's pretty gross and still pretty bad. But also, Rena still did lie, because they framed it entirely differently than what actually happened. This whole situation's FUBAR. This whole thing's fucking FUBAR. Jesus Christ. And we have stepped into a moral minefield of sheer levels of fuckery I didn't think was going to happen. I totally thought it was going to be a fake accusation. It was a very common fake accusation. I didn't expect it to degrade into such a clusterfuck like this. Oh, man. Oh, jeez. This is why you don't post that cringe-ass nonsense on the fucking internet. It comes back to bite you. It always comes back to bite you. Your furry posts on DeviantArt will always come back to bite you. That's why you don't do it. So, that's still morally fucked to me that you were being cringe and very lewd with a minor, even though you didn't know it was a minor and it was just DM messages. So you couldn't really confirm one way or the other. And also the other person does admit that that he had no idea how old they were. So I guess that kind of, due to the ambiguity of the internet, kind of absolves them a little, Sean, a bit. It's still gross. It's still gross. I will say that. It definitely makes you look at Sean in a different light. That's pretty gross. But it's not really their fault, I suppose.
Rest. Casper got harassed, and Glitch Productions got harassed.
God's fucked.
Demanding that Sean get recast. Once again, I'm really sorry. You too got harassed. Thank you for deleting the thread that caused this whole thing.
It turned out that Rena fabricated parts of the story to make it seem like Sean was actually doing stuff to Casper, when in fact Casper never saw their 1-hour conversation as anything close to that. According to fans on Reddit, Rena also pressured another user who went by Gremlin to substantiate her claims. However,
okay. So Rena lied to make it seem worse than it was. Okay. Okay.
The posts from Gremlin are no longer available. Now the case was put to rest, and despite everything, Sean kept his job at Glitch and even picked up new ones for other series. But the person in this next case would learn that company loyalty doesn't always go both ways.
Really great people and some of the best managers, and recently this place has become a nightmare.
I don't really know if that last one was a crime though.
Smith, a 38-year-old
I guess it would be
voice
slander.
actress, had been bringing the character Tari to life across both the Meta Runner and the SMG4 series. As far as she knew, there were more opportunities ahead of her within Glitch Productions. But on February 24th, 2024, she found out otherwise.
I know the new voice actor is not your cup of tea, but please respect it. Tari's old voice actor is a teacher and already has kids now. She's busy taking care of her family. So I understand why SMG4 hired a new voice actor.
Welcome back.
Dave Joe posted on Twitter that day asking people to be respectful towards the new Tari voice actress. Now Celeste saw this, and she responded 2 days later.
As the original voice of Tari, I am surprised as you are. I only discovered I had been replaced.
Oh no. Okay, so she's been sacked. All right, so we had the original voice actor, and she's been sacked and replaced by someone else.
Today, the whole narrative that I was too busy is not true at all.
She also said that she had nothing against the new voice actress, Lottie Byrne, who she described as a lovely person who deserved no blame for any of this. That same day, Robin Berry Carter, a content creator who ran a YouTube channel called Anime America and voiced SMG2 in the SMG4 series.
Well, I guess they just didn't like your ass. I guess the fucking people running Glitch didn't fucking like you if they just sacked you like that.
During this time,
you didn't
deserve.
Let's point. You don't get sacked like this by a post on Twitter and find out about it in one day, unless you did something to piss someone off.
If we're that replaceable, then consider this my resignation as SMG2 effective immediately. You have my full support, Celeste. As voice actors, we deserve better.
Now comments filled the post, the most notable one by a user who had the username Gagilada. It was screenshots from Glassdoor, a website where current and former employees can anonymously review the companies they worked for.
I wonder what she did. I'm very curious what she did to get fired like this.
Culture, unrealistic deadlines, overworked, underpaid.
5 days had passed since the recast became public.
You know, have you been watching her since high school? Oh, well, small world, huh? I've only seen like 1 or 2 videos of Anime America. I've not watched her that much.
But there was neither a statement nor an explanation from Glitch. And on February 29, 2024, Celeste posted her full experience working for the studio.
I had been abruptly removed from this role with no contact from the team.
She then reached out directly to Glitch co-founders Luke and Kevin, but received only a short message.
I received a message from Luke at the end of the day saying thanks for everything and sorry we didn't tell you. Which
thanks for everything, get fucked.
Incredibly distressing after pouring my heart into Terry for 6 years. The reason was because the SMG4 pipeline was becoming more sporadic and they needed lines with shorter notice. Very confusing, considering I've never missed a deadline and never been unable to get the work completed.
When she asked why no one had spoken to her beforehand and why she had been given no chance to discuss any of these concerns, her messages remained.
I'm very curious what the other side of the story is. I'm very curious if we're gonna get the other side of the story.
Unread. Then she reached out to Jasmine Yang, Glitch's voice director, who was responsible for casting and managing voice actors at the time. She initially told Celeste that she had nothing to do with the recast, because she didn't work on SMG4, only on Glitch. But after Celeste's public about not knowing she'd been replaced, Jasmine messaged to say it was entirely her fault Celeste had not been told. In Celeste's words,
how can one be both unsure about the recast and also completely at fault at the same time?
It sounded like you just didn't want the responsibility of telling her that she even canned. It sounded like you dragged your feet, but whatever.
Further into her statement, she also addressed the narrative that she'd stepped back because of her family. She said that being a parent was not a reason to stop making art, but a reason to make more of it, and that this kind of thinking had long been used to hold women back from succeeding in the workplace. And in the end, she closed her statement.
Well, when it comes to women in the workspace, it's a whole other matter. But I don't know why they keep saying that though. It doesn't make any sense. Cause oh yeah, sure, the children need to be watched over by the mother. Sure, why not? I understand that. I understand workplaces going, and people who choose family over work getting less. Because this happens to men too. It's not just women. The men who choose family over work tend to not go as far in the company as people who tend to slave themselves to the company. That's just business in general. And women are seen as more of the caregivers of the family in general when it comes to babies. So, and you do have, and it is the thing about raising a family. You are going to have to miss work for them. That's just a natural part of life. There are going to be days where you cannot be in the office or you cannot be at work because you have to deal with your little crotch goblin has a fucking has a fever and you have to stay at home or something like that, right? You don't really it's just the thing. I guess discriminate against is a way to put it. At certain companies, you do get discriminated against for having a family. In this case, it doesn't make any sense because you just need her to do line reading that she's already been doing and has already been a mother for years. So I don't know for what they said. What they said that she's been a mother for a while. We work to earn the time to work to earn the right to live. Yes, exactly. How dare you choose your family over work? Don't you understand? Work is your family. God, I hate that sentiment. And it's something that's becoming a sentiment in corporate America, and it's becoming something that's more of a sentiment in my work office as time has been going on about we care for each other here and da-da-da-da-da. We're like a family. And like I've so many times in the big work meetings, I am so tempted to stand up and tell him to shut the fuck up. We're not a family. I get a paycheck and then I go home. I do my job. I do it well. And that's all I'm here to do. We're not family. Go fuck yourself.
Don't worry, guys. I'll be fine.
It was unknown whether Glitch would eventually respond, but people started to come out with similar stories. That same day, an anonymous post appeared on the Amazing Digital Circus subreddit, titled,
from an anonymous Glitch
the piling on.
This person, who we will call Alex, said that they worked for Glitch for just over 2 years, and described the moments things started to shift.
The morale in the production team crumbled as we get pushed to our limits. Deadlines were incredibly unrealistic and unreasonable. There was barely any compensation to match it. If anything, we were rewarded with more work.
Now on Kevin, they didn't hold back.
He will take advantage of new artists and will burn them out within months. I saw firsthand the manipulation, mistreatment, and gaslighting tactics he used against the production team.
I feel like this would become I feel like that one's not true because I feel like that would have become a much bigger deal for such a small company by this point that that people would have crucified them way, way earlier for that if that was the case. Because like the whole fucking point of why you're joining Glitch is because to get away from that kind of culture that they do at animation studios all the time.
Employees stayed at night, expecting immediate responses, and the concerns they raised to upper management would come to no avail. But the criticism of Kevin was not limited to Reddit. On X, a user named A. Benner posted this.
If I were to go back in time and tell SMG4 fans that Kevin would eventually become a corrupt, abusive CEO, nobody would believe me. #ditchglitch.
And one account who went by #Mario also posted a step-by-step guide showing fans how to watch SMG4 without supporting Glitch, and this spread quickly under the hashtag
#boycottglitch.
Throughout all of this, Robin had become the main voice for other animators who'd worked for Glitch in the past.
I'm surprised Glitch hasn't said anything yet. I would like to see what's going on here.
Sharing their anonymous accounts as they came in, confirming that they were from real former employees. Now when Glitch finally responded, it first came from Jasmine in a Discord message, where she wrote that she'd forgotten to notify Celeste and took full responsibility for the mistake. But Celeste had already written in her previous post that Jasmine had
she already said
that she had nothing to do with the recast.
And she contradicted herself.
Of each other, and no further clarification ever came. But on March 4th, 2024, 9 days after the recast first became public, Kevin, Glitch's CEO, published a formal apology.
We've been silent this past week, as I've been prioritizing, checking in on taking care of my internal staff, having multiple open conversations with the management/production teams, and assessing the entire situation. The last thing I wanted to do was rush out a half-assed statement.
After this, he mentioned that some staff had been harassed online by the community, and that he couldn't let that continue without addressing it. On the workplace allegations, he didn't dismiss them entirely, though he acknowledged that some claims were being exaggerated.
I acknowledge and take full accountability that during the early years of Glitch, there was indeed a lack of experience, training, and skill on my part, and the management structure I had at the time to run and operate a small animation studio.
He then brought up where it all started, and described the early days as a ramshackle studio, and apologized to anyone who had experienced hardship during the
That's kind of, that is kind of the case with indie productions, though. Like, indie productions in general tend to be hellish because you have to do a ton of fucking work to make up for the fact that you don't have the infrastructure in place to handle this kind of stuff. You're slapping shit together as quickly as you can, as fast as you can, and you are going to have to take on more work than, like, that's not that is something you're not going to, you would not experience that if it was at, probably got Glitch at this point, you probably wouldn't experience that much. But I would say, yeah, probably back in the beginning, that would definitely make sense. I mean, if you think back on it, that's pretty much how all productions were. Star Wars was like this. I know that they created whole new technology just to get the fucking thing, just to make the show, to make the movie they wanted to make. And you can hear horror stories about how long people worked to make to make Star Wars come to life. And it was an absurd amount of hours went into it. Or even more recently with Obsession. Obsession had tons of people doing a bunch of overtime, doing overwork for not a lot of pay, because that's just how indie productions are. It's, you have to make up you sometimes just have to make up a lot of work for not a lot of pay. You take the risk of being involved in something that might pay off down the line, that could pay off down the line. You take the risk of lack of pay now for rewards later. Which is something that someone from Obsession didn't quite fucking learn. As she made it, as the costume, what was it? It was the costume designer for Obsession. I think that's what her department was. She went on Twitter demanding that she should get paid more money because the movie did incredibly well, and she isn't getting any of that money because she took a deal at the start to basically get paid all of her money up front, because she was also a starving artist at the time, and she took all the money up front so that she could pay her rent and all that stuff. But because she took all the money up front, she lost out on any deals for any success down the line of the movie, because you decide you didn't want to take any of the risk. You decide, I'm going to get the money now and not take a chance on something later. You're not taking any of the risk. So yeah, you don't get to pay when you don't take the risk. That's just how it is. If you wanted that, when Obsession became that movie that made fucking hundreds of millions of dollars in the movie theaters, you'll kick all you can do is really kick yourself in that situation. You go, oh damn, I really should have taken that. But it's stupid because she burned her entire career doing that. Now she's become the person who's trying to burn down the studio behind her. Weaver's out. Good night, Weevil. See you later. We're about done here myself. But I just gotta wrap up this video. I gotta shut the fuck up. But to keep it short, she burned her career doing that, because now people aren't going to hire her because she's seen as a troublemaker. Instead of just taking the Obsession and going, I worked on this movie, I made the costume design for this movie, and leveraging that into new jobs. Now she's just kind of fucked herself.
Period. He said the studio had since built proper management.
It's what it seems. It seems kind of like what this is. It seems kind of like this is an indie ramshackle production that due to people not knowing exactly what to do, even the management didn't know how to fucking handle this because they've never been in this situation before, caused some stress that probably didn't need to happen, but you know, this shit does happen.
Produce production coordinators, people specifically responsible for managing schedules and improving how they planned and scheduled work. He closed the statement with a direct apology.
I'm deeply sorry to any past employee that feels dissatisfied with their time at Glitch.
Now most people kept watching their work. The amazing digital circus continued to grow, and the channel kept getting millions of views. But the conversation about how the studio treated its own staff didn't fully go away. For some fans, the images of those two brothers laughing on camera as teenagers and the studio they'd built were now two very different things. As for Celeste, she took a step back from voice acting and stopped posting on X, with her latest update being in January.
Yeah, I still don't know. Like, I still wonder about her side, the other side of that story about her. The whole insistence on she's got a family she has to go take care of. It's such a weird thing to say that makes me wonder if she did something and they're trying not to make a thing out of it by just making it about her family instead, just to try to avoid any more controversy. I wonder if that was the case. I wonder how she behaved in the office space.
23rd, 2025 on Instagram. And as for Glitch, they simply moved on. Every person in this case had a reason to be upset, but the people in this next case had nothing, not even a connection with the show. They only saw the cast list, picked names, and for years made life hard for those.
All right, we're in the last one. We're in the last one.
Talk about this issue because talking about it makes it worse. It only emboldens bots even further to become more of a nuisance.
True.
From the moment The Amazing Digital Circus went viral, the voice actors behind its most beloved characters became recognizable to millions of people. Michael Kovac, the 30-year-old voice of Jax, Lizzie Freeman, the 33-year-old voice of Pomni, and Alex Racon, the 32-year-old voice of Kane, became
people in my age range.
Connected with. For most of the fandom, that recognition translated into support, fan art, and messages of appreciation. However, all three of them, along with Cooper, aka Gooseworks, the creator of the show, had no way of knowing that the same recognition would also make them targets of a notorious bunch of people known for bothering YouTube creators from late 2023 onwards. The group
that's just ENVtuber Troll Police. Oh, it's an actual group. I thought it was just regular trolls.
It's called the UTTP, short for YouTube Troll Police. This is not really a single organized group with official members, but more of an online community of trolls that had been around for years, and the history made one thing clear.
I see.
They were also known to hack YouTube channels through malware downloads, share illegal content involving younger people, and force younger people to...
Okay, so they just like fuck it with people. Alright, yeah, makes sense.
By the time they set their sights on The Amazing Digital Circus,
extortion and severe threats. Oh, that's pretty bad.
Was capable of. Within the UTTP, a person calling himself General Glenn, who went by the username Clask, ran a website called Skibbity Farms. This served as a meeting point where members would...
That's fucking cringe, dude. Why would you call it Skibbity Farms? Why would you do that?
Coordinate their attacks against the Amazing Digital Circus cast and fandom. And on the 2nd of June 2025, he made a post on the website saying,
"It is imperative that we fight this evil Tutsi fandoms of the Amazing Digital Circus. Post proof of participation below."
Participation in the raids was...
See? Cringe behavior. Said murder drones is evil and bad. A disgusting human being. He had it on the list with the next Amazing Digital Circus. See, that's how you know he's a disgusting human being.
Expected of every member. The approach was to flood the personal social media accounts of Michael, Lizzie, and Alex with disturbing and harmful content day after day through their replies and comment sections. And members of the UTTP would also leave comments and make posts saying stuff like,
"Skibbity Farms content is way better than your indie slop."
Glenn would also keep on posting about the campaign against the voice actors with detailed instructions for everyone who wanted to participate.
Reply to every single one.
It doesn't sound like a huge deal to me, but like it's... you can tell I come from a completely different age of the internet where people would send me videos about people getting shot in the head. I just like, they're sending bad content. Well, now I delete. Okay, moving on. But I guess it depends on how, like, the amount of it. It must have been a fucking staggering amount.
Every single
it must have been a lot.
Employees media posts.
And Michael was the only one out of the three who addressed the situation on X in November of 2023.
The good old UTTP is at it again and are now targeting me. If you see him, just block and go about your day. Cheers.
But the UTTP wasn't the only problem the show's success had created. Multiple anonymous YouTube channels with no verified connection to the UTTP had been mass producing inappropriate Amazing Digital Circus content and pushing
no connection to the UTTV, but they probably are.
Toward younger viewers. These channels claimed that they were making videos out of love for the show, and viewers searching for the Amazing Digital Circus were finding materials like this sitting alongside real content from the studio and their recommendations.
That just sounds like fucking YouTube needs to get off their ass. I mean, it sounds like the fucking hot yoga all over again. Where it was just people fucking naked on. You can find naked women on YouTube just doing yoga poses, because yoga poses, for some reason, if you put hot yoga, would just fucking YouTube would for some reason wouldn't flag that in the algorithm. I don't know why. And like that was a thing for a time. It sounds like
going on from 2023 until today, but Cooper had already been aware of it since the pilot went viral and initially chose not to address it directly. And by December 23rd, 2023, she posted,
"You guys keep sending me the worst content farm stop imaginable. I like genuine fan content, by the way, but it's just getting really hard to find in the endless sea of soulless trash."
This had some people from the fandom wanting to know why nothing was...
You really shouldn't respond to it. You really shouldn't respond to it. That makes it worse. Acknowledging the trolls make it worse.
Being done about it. And this question would be answered in her later post on Tumblr in early...
What can you do about it? You can delete the post, but if they're just putting it up as fast as you take it down, or faster than you take it down, you take that one, they post up 5 more. What the fuck can you do?
2024.
I've talked to Glitch about it when they first started showing up, but nothing will be enough to stop them. I can be your scapegoat if you want, but it's not going to change anything.
Then on May 25th, 2025...
I mean, once they start, it literally is just an endurance game. That's all. That's what this is. You have to have the willpower to outlast them. And that's all you can really do.
About a year and a half after Cooper's Tumblr post, the UTTP crossed the line that it had been building towards for almost 2 years. Someone on the Skibbity Farms website posted what they claimed was Lizzie's home address, along with a photograph of her house, and General Glenn publicly praised them for it. And whether Lizzie knows about this or not is unknown, because she never responded to it publicly.
Yeah,
no
that's pretty bad.
Anything happening at that address have ever come out. By July 2025, the issue with the UTTP gained a lot of coverage on YouTube, but remained unaddressed, with neither arrests nor charges taking place, as the UTTP's campaigns against the shows is still active as of May 2026.
The show's over. What the fuck are you guys still doing? You know, what the fuck? Why? Because it's more trolling. They can go troll them in person then. They go fuck around with them in person if they get away with it. Or something extreme could happen because some of them can tend to be really fucked up. Some of them can, just like the fucking, you were talking about Amazing Digital Circus being fucked in the head with its fandom. These people can be just as fucked in the head. So, yeah, for anything for the troll. But and it's still going though. The show ended fucking months ago. Get over it. It ended months ago and it made all the money in the world. Despite your best efforts. Get fucked, you lost. That's basically what it is. You lost.
On the other hand, the anonymous YouTube channels are still posting, and considering how big the Amazing Digital Circus has grown, almost anything can happen next.
I mean, that's YouTube would have to solve that on their end, and they don't care enough. Glitch would have to go directly to YouTube and get them to go, hey, if you see anything that's amazing, and it basically would have to go, if you see anything Amazing Digital Circus that's not us, ban it immediately. Close it down immediately. But that would be fucking that'd turn into such a clusterfuck so fast. So yeah, there's not really a whole lot you can do, and you just kind of have to wait. You just kind of have to wait them out. That's all you can do. Eventually, they'll get bored and they'll move on to something else, or they'll just come back later when they feel reinvigorated. There's really nothing you can do about it. But yeah, that is what it is. And that is a crime. Not the trolling part. Trolling's not a crime per se. But the doxing of people's information with the intent of harm, and it does seem like the intent of harm is there, that is a crime. That is a crime. No, it's not really in the Amazing Digital Circus community, because this is a separate community that has nothing to do with the Amazing Digital Circus. But anyway, that's it for this stream for today. I hope you've enjoyed that, whatever the fuck all this was, between the Amazing Digital Circus's fandom being insane and everyone else being insane. Doxing is fucked up. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why people do it, but they do. I don't know, I guess because they think that, like, if they can just fuck with you in person, that's a gotcha moment. Can we watch Look Out? I said I was going to watch it later. But I'm not going to watch it on stream now. Definitely not for sure, because I got to be done. We're at the end of the night. It's time to go. Who can we raid out to? Lyrical's online. Let's raid Lyrical. For those of you on the other sites, on the like the YouTubes and the Kick, there's no raid out for you, so this will just be goodbye. /raid Lyrical Panther. I don't think YouTube has a raid system. Do not value raid type. Ah, damn. Nope, it won't be Lyrical because I don't have enough people. I can never keep them around for so long. Oh well. Let's see. Who else can we raid then? I think we raid Desync then. Oh, let's raid Nixie. Did I do that right? There we go. All right. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate you all. That was interesting. I don't know how fun it was, but it was very interesting. I hope you all enjoyed the insights into the fucked up parts of the internet. And I hope all you watching the VOD can fucking have fun with this. I don't know if you're gonna have fun with this, but it's a thing. It's a fucking thing. But I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night, and I will see you all again later. Everyone have a good one.